All right. Let me switch off the music. I wanna get in today with something more energetic. Give me a second. Yes, that's more like it. All right. Who likes Ratchet and Clank, huh? Who likes Ratchet and Clank? I think that is a great OST. Welcome, everybody, and a beautiful Wednesday. We have a whole lot of Clems in chat. Holy cow. Who we got? First of all, greetings to MHBlacky Bot. It is cool. You're my most loyal viewer. Actually, in the metrics of who posted the most comments in chat, MHBlacky Bot has the number one. Sunny Boy is number 2. MHBlacky Bot, I think, has the number 1 by now because it is running 24/7 and just spamming my YouTube link and Twitch chat even if nobody's there. Right? If you were to monitor my Twitch chat, I'm pretty sure that even in the middle of the night, MHBlacky Bot would be there just promoting my YouTube every 3 minutes or so. so Sunny Boy, you gotta step up your game, man. No, but like seriously, who we got? I don't know. We got Grand Army Gaming, Clem Grakata. I wish you a beautiful Wednesday. Noodly's there, Tempest is there, The Thresher, Mista, Dystopia there again. You used to play it on my PSP back when it my brother. Don't tell me that the only Ratchet and Clank you ever played was Size Matters. Dystopia, please. Please don't tell me. If Dystopia, if Size Matters was the only Ratchet and Clank game that you have ever played, you have the official command from me to not donate any money to the stream for 1 month and invest that money into playing one of the proper Ratchet and Clank games. One of the PS2 ones or the Rift Apart one. That's the newest one. I think everybody loves that too. Haven't played it yet. But like, for real, man, Size Matters is absolute freaking garbage compared to the rest of the franchise. I forgot Eric, welcome. Spowie, also nice Wednesday to you. We have Huang Pham, I hope I pronounced that right. We have Marvax, we have Corey, nice to see you too, Corey. We have, who we got? We have Necrontic. Oh man, so many people already. Asura Gaming, welcome to you. ArcX Unknown. Rangrang, hype back to you. Nico Kotum, Snow, Ligma Lord, Horo, this is a mug full of coffee, 8 Bullet, that guy, hello to you too. Welcome to everybody on YouTube and on Twitch. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means? That means, exactly, that means Clem. No, it means that tomorrow, my dear friend, is going to be the most miserable time of the week. The second most miserable time of the week. I don't know about how you feel, but when you're in school or when you're working, the worst time of the week is Sunday evening because you're getting Monday morning depression in advance. Sunday evening is objectively worse than Monday morning because you're feeling the dread of soon being Monday morning. And then Monday morning itself is not all too bad because you've gone through all the stages of grief on Sunday evening already. And then it gets better from there. And on Wednesday, you're happy because you're already half done with the week. But then Thursday, like, puts you down into a hole again because the energy is already gone. Before on Friday, you're all of a sudden very, very motivated again because you already feel that weekend at the end of the tunnel. So even Friday morning, you're freaking hyped. You're going to be motivated at work. You're going to get so much done that you haven't been able to get done throughout the entire week because Friday is the best day of the week, even in the morning if you still have to go to work. And then it just continues to go down from there until you end up in the Sunday evening depression again. So with today being Wednesday, today is going to be your midweek high before you're going to be very miserable tomorrow. So let's try to not think about that. Let's try to have a good stream. But you also got to know that very soon it's going to be Friday morning, and that is going to be amazing. So with those words, I wish everybody present a very beautiful Wednesday. Kitsune is so real, especially when I have 8 a.m. class on Monday. Oh boy, don't get me started. You want to hear a little story? You want to have the good old MHBlacky rant yap time where he tells you a story while completely not doing anything Warframe related? Because no, you can't wait for Friday to get Dystopia. Stop it. Stop it. Dystopia, stop it. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard you gotta buy a Ratchet & Clank game, a proper one? Thank you, Dystopia. Oh, by the way, a Cosmic Crow also welcome to you. You're now depressed. You're welcome. Yo, Seth, what's good? I'm feeling better. Thank you for everybody asking. Also, thank you for all your nice comments under the community post. Yeah, I wasn't feeling all too good on Monday, but I'm better. As you can probably hear. Dystopia, which one do you recommend? I personally think Ratchet & Clank 2 for the PlayStation 2 is the best Ratchet & Clank because it combines the exploration and platforming aspect that was very present in the first game with the more combat gunplay focused part that has become more prevalent after like the third game. And I think 2 is the best middle ground. For everybody who played Ratchet & Clank, everybody in the chat who played Ratchet & Clank, what is your favorite? My personal favorite is Ratchet & Clank 2 because it has good gunplay, the first couple role-playing aspects making it into the series, which was very good, but still beautiful environments, exploration, and platforming. And after Ratchet 3, it got very much into more combat-focused. If you really, really like the combat of the Ratchet & Clank games, actually Deadlocked or Gladiator, if you live in the EU, was also pretty darn good, even though nobody expected it to be. But Size Matters is absolute dog water. Like, this thing is honestly, and I gotta keep it family friendly. It is an intercoursing insult. Not gonna say the F word. We're not dropping any F bombs here. We're having coffee. We're having a friendly Wednesday. Autumn Night High, what's going on? Exactly, Schmod. 2 is going commando. Exactly. Ratchet & Clank 2 is going commando. That's my favorite. Ligma Lord likes 3. I can see why you would like 3 because 3 did improve on some of the combat aspects. I totally see that. A lot of people like 3 more than 2. You can make an argument for that. I personally just like a bit more effort put into the level design. I think 3 streamlined that quite a bit. But then again, I also like Deadlocked a lot, even though it goes against everything what I like 2 for. So, you know, I'm probably not the authority to speak on which Ratchet & Clank game is objectively the best. Xtra, how's it going? I'm doing well, Xtra. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Also, Sunny Boy, welcome, my man. Good to see you. Invader, hey man. By the way, everybody asking how I'm doing. I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much for asking. We're gonna have a beautiful Wednesday together. I am very sure about that. Smetty, how's it going? Good to see you. Smetty, which Ratchet & Clank has been your favorite one? Don't tell me you never played one. Because otherwise I'm going to have to take that shout out back, even though that's not possible and we both know it. Rift Apart, Sonny Boy. Everybody says Rift Apart is so freaking good. I haven't gotten to play it yet because I don't have a PS5. A friend said that it's available on Steam. Is that true? Is Rift Apart available for PC? If yes, then I might just quit YouTube for 2 weeks. Not gonna lie. So be careful with what you're saying. You think it... Okay, fam. We're gonna go on Steam now and check that out. Holy smokes, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is indeed available for PC. Yeah, guys, I guess I gotta end the stream early now. See you in 2 weeks. Bye. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, but honestly, I'm gonna buy that shit. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play that in every off-time minute of YouTube. I genuinely thought that was PS exclusive. I was almost inclined to buy a PS5 just for that. But I won't. I'm gonna take my PS4 controller, plug it into the PC, and play it right here. Yeah, I swore, Josh, but for Ratchet & Clank, you might swear. It's fine. For Ratchet & Clank, it's fine. The goat. Humans, what's going on? We're just, goating around, horsing around, wink, wink, praying and what's going on? Don't apologize for being late. It's just been 11 minutes. Good to see you. Wish you a beautiful Wednesday, too. Good morning, Musha. We're doing fine. Hope you're also doing fine. No, we're not playing Ratchet & Clank on stream. I might actually do that at some point. If I just feel like it, if I just don't feel like Warframe for a day, I might just decide to play Ratchet & Clank on stream, and y'all can't do anything about it. Straight down, you are at MR9 starting Steel Path now, and you're struggling to deliver damage to enemies. Any solution? I do have a relatively long and extended video on YouTube that is called How to 10x Your Damage in Warframe. I don't know if you've seen it already, but it describes step by step from early game to late game which steps you can take to increase your damage output. And if you have a bit of time, I'm sure that this is probably going to be the best answer that I can give, at least better than now on stream in a rushed fashion. By the way, Ginger Viking, welcome also to you. I just quickly saw your name pop up in chat. Chat was going so fast I couldn't read the message, but I do recognize your name. One of our newest channel members over on YouTube. Welcome and a beautiful Wednesday to you too. Trottle85, Sony and Microsoft made a deal where either one of them got where either got the exclusives from. Wait, does that mean that we have the PS2, or that we're gonna get the PS2 Ratchets converted to Steam? Is that a thing? Is there gonna be like an HD remaster of the old Ratchets for PC2, or is that too much to ask? That guy next streamer play Ratchet & Clank. Honestly, I would love to do a Ratchet marathon on stream, like install a PS2 emulator and then just start from 1 and going through the entire series. That would be freaking lovely. I would love that. I would relive my childhood. That would be insane, Sonny, but wouldn't it? Yeah. George, you're about to hit LR3. Okay, George, first of all, before I read the rest of your question, if you introduce yourself with I'm gonna hit LR3, then probably I'm going to be the one who has to ask you for advice and not vice versa. Just to put that out of the way real quick. But yeah, let's see what you're asking. And I'm wondering what frame is everyone's favorite? Oh, okay. I see. That's a fair question. I like Revenant. I'm a pesky mainstreamer. I'm a pesky freaking optimized mainstreamer who doesn't like to have fun. That's why I play Revenant. What? Dante is the best. Dystopia puts 100 bits on Dante. I should have a channel point reward that where I don't do the MLG commentator, but rather I do the American auctionator. You know, have you ever seen those American auctions where the guy's always like 25, 30, 35, 35, and sold for 35. I should do that. I should learn that. That would be hilarious. I would do my videos like that. And I would explain my builds like that. And if anyone in the comments were to be like, I don't like that build, I would be like, yeah, at 3 minutes 47, I did explain that. Didn't you listen to me? Didn't you? I was clearly saying that out loud. Why didn't you listen? Yes, Josh, yes. Auctioneers are like, bro, that's next level. You know, you think Eminem is the rap god with double time flow and all? Nah, brother. Nah. Jeez. Bashka, first time watching you. Welcome to the stream then. And also Lightning Vulture, first time for you too. That's the cool thing, you know what? Even though the chat is going very quickly, in my chat window, everybody who writes the first message ever gets like a little green mark, so I can see that. Like, for example, Man Like Gibbon and MX Gaz. Just watching your video about the Tazakor build. Do I have a video about the Tazakor, really? A dedicated video towards the... I didn't know that. Dr. Cyric and Pickle Nature, welcome to you too. And James Garrick. Do you think Torrid and Frost could be a good combination? I think Torrid plus everything is a good combination, especially because Frost also has, you know, the nice little red critties. And yeah, I think yeah, absolutely. Frost is a decent weapons platform. Not one of the best weapons platforms, but still pretty good. And we have Faye Queen Liz. We have Tenebrisvr. We have Zero again. Zero. Sorry, I'm inclined to always say Zero. Marverax. We have Fireline. Welcome to you too. Predator. Hi. I think it's about time I stop yapping and get into the game. But I want to finish the coffee first. Nails, do I have a plan to make a Coda weapon tier list? Absolutely. I already have one Coda weapon. So just 12 more to go. Just 12 more to go. And then after that's done, I'm going to do a tier list for the Corpus Lich weapons, for the Tenet ones. Autumn Knight is a top 1% Yarly user. I wonder why. I wonder why. So now we have fueled up the batteries. And still cheering for Kuva frames, like my lord. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Kuva frames will be pretty good. Let me quickly open up Warframe while secretly wishing it was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Oh man. Let's get into it. By the way, before we start taking a look at viewer builds like we did last time, I wanted to quickly go through the rules, quote unquote, for that, just to make sure that we're gonna get through with the whole thing. Again, we're gonna go, you know, you can send me your builds and I'm gonna give you a impression on that. Let me quickly log in. But it would be nice if you could give me a little message with the build as for context, so I can actually have a bit of a better response to it. Plus, only one build or one fashion per person, otherwise it's just going to be too much. And we're going to do it in chronological order. So first come, first serve. Please do not spam in chat that I should take a look at your build. We're going to go through it in chronological order. Now, I am in the game and you can link me your builds or your fashion and I'm going to take a look at that. If you want to send me multiple builds, you can also do that. I'm just going to go from top through bottom. I'm only going to pick one, but in case the top one is something that I don't really know much about, I'm just going to go to the next one then. So that's how we're going to do it. And now we're going to wait for 5 seconds for OBS to update that Warframe is actually open. Clemmania. Yeah, Clem is going strong today. Not going to lie. Clem is going strong today, not gonna lie. But actually, you know what? I don't wanna stand in the back room. Last time we've been standing in the back room all the time. Now, let's go to the Orbiter. Let's see a bit green, right? Let's go touch some grass. We're gamers. We need to touch some grass. By the way, nice to see you too, Sophie. Thanks for linking in chat how you can actually send me stuff. So everybody knows. No, I wanted to go to the Drifters camp. Yeah, let's touch some grass in the Drifters camp. And then we're going to take a look at the builds. And of course, because we are people of culture, we're not going to stare at Excalibur. Yeah, we're gonna have Wisp in the frame today, shall we? You know, getting some of the clicks from people who are on Twitch and they just see the thumbnail for the stream and they see me standing here like this, having the chat open. I think that's about right. I think we can do that, can't we? Let's quickly adjust the camera angle a bit. Yeah, there we go. I think that's good. I think that is perfectly fine. I think this is the way we need to discuss builds today, friends. This is what we're going to do. By the way, Forest Red, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Oh, man. So, exactly. Exactly. It's a great freeze frame for looking at the Warframe while talking about the builds. Which number grows? Henkyol? Did I pronounce that right? Thank you so much for the sub. Welcome to the Fold of the Wisp enjoyers. Welcome to the Tenno of Culture who enjoy hourglass-shaped cyborg ninjas. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 69 million viewers, Sonny Boy. I knew it. Ginger Viking, how do you link my build? Okay, for everybody, real quick, for everybody who wants to know me, who wants to know how to link builds, it's actually pretty simple. First of all, you open the chat window. Shut up, Ordis. Jeez. I know why we went to the back rooms. First of all, you open the chat window, and then you type in /W. That's the whisper command. MHBlacky, that's my name. And then you type something so to open up the actual chat window. And then all you need to do is go to your arsenal and pick the weapon or warframe that you want to link. Click this one right here and you see it will automatically create a link to your mod config in the chat window. You can just send me that, and once I click it, I will have a look at that. By the way, this is some Wisp build that I had at some point. I don't know if it's good, probably not. So yeah, let's get back to our original clickbaity stream thumbnail. Put her in the sun a little bit. Yep, that's right. And let's take a look at the first builds. I know that the guy was the first one. You want to participate in Coda runs. We're gonna do invites for the runs later. We're gonna take a look at builds first. And we have a Zaku Prime build from, I don't know. Let's check it out. No, Josh, not in the YouTube chat. You need to do it in game. You need to do it in game. 8Bullet, you recently named your Siam to Yamato. Wish could rename the Warframes. That would be hilarious. I would love to be able to rename the Warframes. That's true. So let's see what I don't know has on their Zaku. I just realized I probably should put my camera a bit out of the way so you can actually see the arcanes. Let's quickly make that happen. I love how the webcam shadow did not move up. Give me a quick second. Let's just make the shadow invisible for a moment. There we go. Now you can see the build. Now you can see the full build. It's not pretty, but it's functional. Oh man, I should unequip the Sayandana. Yep, probably I should. You max out the mods one day. Yeah, sure, fine. No stress with that, right? Nobody can be expected to have an Arcane Energize at rank 5 all the time. Even though one of my mods posted a screenshot yesterday that he had 120 copies of Arcane Energize in his inventory, so he's not having any platinum problems anytime soon. So yeah, what do we have here? We have a Zaku Prime with pretty high range, which is good. I would try to get 280% range, honestly. Like, range is the #1 thing that you want to have on Zaku, and afterwards you want to go for strength and duration. I think the strength and duration both are fine like this. I would probably go for Augur Reach. Augur Reach is cool. Or go for the Exilus mod that gives you even more range. That's fine. Maybe you could go with blue Archon shards to give you energy so you don't need flow. Then put Augur Reach in here. And maybe if you want to be a little bit more tanky, Rolling Guard and or Adaptation in here. And the rest is pretty darn fire. I think you don't need Equilibrium and Arcane Energize at the same time, though. I would pick one. I mean, right now, sure, you need Equilibrium because your Energize is only rank 1. But once this is maxed out, you got to pick one. That would be my feedback for this. But I think you're already going in the right direction with the 220% range. Though I think, I want to be real, I think that Omamori is not that much of a great subzoom. I think if you want to be tanky, you go for Mirage's Eclipse here, then you can actually do a bit of shield tanking. But that's just my opinion. I really don't like Omamori. Hope that helped. All the energy, Autumn Knight, exactly. Yeah, the maximum range is 208, exactly. 208% is the maximum range you could ever have on anything in Warframe, and that is with Stretch, Augur Reach, overextended, and the Exiles mod for range. That gives you exactly 280. If you don't have the Exiles mod for range, then you're going to end up at 265, which is also perfectly fine. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, we have Sunny Boy with a Zaku look. By the way, I really love this deluxe skin right here. This is so cool. This is one of the nicest deluxe skins ever. I think Zaku Prime, the Prime skin, actually is a bit nicer than this one. But I do like the deluxe skin, and I also do like the color scheme here with the sort of light bluish bronze sort of vibe. I said it last time, light blue and bronze is a really good color combination. I really like it subjectively, and I think this looks dope, Sunny Boy. You have the official permission to go to the club like that. The bouncer is not going to send you home. That's for very damn sure. Huang Pham, can you test a Summoner's Wrath effect on On-Call Crew and Spectre? I could test it, but I'm going to actually check the wiki and see what the wiki says, if they actually say anything about that on the wiki page. So, the following are counted as summons. Atlas Rumblers, Caliban's Lethal Progeny, blah 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 blah. The following are not counted as summons, but they don't say anything about... Oh, they do say that Spectres and On-Call Crew, I haven't tested it myself, but the wiki says it, On-Call Crew and Spectres are not counted as summons under the Summoner's Wrath mod. So if the wiki is correct, and I would bet it is, because it is most of the time, then unfortunately On-Call Crew, On-Call Crew and Spectres do not get buffed from that aura mod, which is sad. It's sad. It would be great, because I think if you have a Spectre that gets a damage buff like this, that would be hilarious. Can you imagine a Dante Spectre who just goes at it with this mod? That would be peak. Takumon, Blacky, may I check your build for my Frost? Yes, I'm gonna check your build for the Frost. Just make sure to send your build just like everybody else, and then we're gonna get to it in the chronological order. Smokescreen, 450 plat for Energized Max. Okay, I don't know what the current price is. I know when I bought it, it was over 1,000, which hurts. Which hurts. Okay, but let's take a look at Fair Lasers. I'm having issues making her work for Steel Path, 1 armor, 2 energy, 2 casting speed shards. Want to use her ability, but I can't get damage out of her. The Ember Prime. First of all, I'm gonna have to say I'm not the biggest fan of Ember. I think if you want a heat-based frame, there are better options in the game right now. Which is not to say that Ember is bad. It's just that I think other frames do it better, and I don't like it all that much. If you want to get the most damage out of Ember, I would probably use her as a weapons platform and use her 1 with the augment to give yourself a lot of heat damage infusion on the weapon. I think that is one very strong thing that she can do, which is why I wouldn't necessarily subsume over her 1. All in all, though, I think the build looks fine. I think it does. When it comes to survival, though, I would definitely go for adaptation. Go for adaptation because, you know, more damage reduction. And then you should have no issue with survival. Then you can also free up the shard slots that give you more survivability, because I think with adaptation you don't need that. And instead, I would try to use her as a weapons platform with her 1. That's my personal suggestion. Maybe put your Roar over the 4 instead, because the 4 looks like it is really darn strong, and it can be, but it's also not as strong as you would suspect from the visuals of it. That's my personal take on Ember, though I gotta say I'm not the Ember expert #1 in this game. That's also a thing. Insation, little question on the recent vid on Gara Prime. I tried it and edited some parts and I can do millions of damage without subsume the ability of Kullervo, so I wanted to know how would it be different. The thing with Kullervo ability is it's for monkey brain make good chemicals. I'm gonna be 100% real, right? I like big red numbers, and I know a lot of other players also like big red numbers, but you're 100% right. Wrathful Advance is not needed for her to deal good damage, and you can do millions of damage without it. It just doesn't do red number, it does yellow and orange number, but the number is still big. So instead of that, you could use anything else of your choice, and the build would probably not change at all. So that's kind of like the TLDR answer for that. Master of Lamus, hi, welcome to the stream. So yeah, Gaming God, I hope that helped with your Ember. I gotta say though that Ember is, yeah, as I said, Ember is probably not one of the top 5 damage dealer frames in the game, unfortunately. Red numbers, yeah, 8 bullet, exactly. Picklenator, full strength, Volt build, only speed. Yes, because if you see more than 1 frame of your melee animation, it is too long. That's the Volt way of life. That wasn't your Ember? Oh, you sent it. Holy cow, I accidentally deleted that. Can you send me again, Gaming God? I said I'm gonna go in the order of how I received the messages, but if I accidentally deleted your build, then please send it again, and I am going to take a look at it right away. Your message again? Okay, then you should be all the way to the right. Holy cow, there's so many things to get through. Where is... Oh, there we go. There we go. That was your glaive build? Okay. Let's take a look at the glaive build. Sorry for accidentally deleting that. First of all, Mr. Gaming God coming here flexing with his... casually flexing with the glaive ribbon. Holy cow, that's really good. Initial combo plus crit and crit. That's very good. Like the only, again, a 9 out of 10 ribbon, the only thing that could make it a little bit better would be a negative stat. But yeah, this is freaking good. Rest of the build, obviously, we're gonna have a heavy attack explosion thingy. So nothing really to say about that. Though I gotta say, if you do a heavy attack explosion build, I would replace this with sacrificial steel. It's probably gonna be better on like. Oh no, okay, you go galvanized steel, I see. No, then forget what I said. Then forget what I said. If you go galvanized steel, this is fine. This is perfectly fine, though I think you don't need the Tennokai. Oh, it's not a Tennokai, yeah, it's... Yeah. Forget what I said, it's perfect build, everything nice. You could go, of course, melee influence, right? Gaming God, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. Big cheers to you. Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of that ribbon. If I had such a ribbon for the Zores, I would probably not play Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, but just enjoy that Zores for a little longer. Just gonna say that. But yeah, I think this is pretty dope. It's pretty dope, not gonna lie. 100%. So, am I think I'm back at the start, right? Yeah. Okay. Status damage. Yeah, sure, because of the slash. But if you go with melee, what was it, exposure, then I think it's just gonna do a whole lot of corrosive. That was probably the plan there. Slide attack is good for Glaze Fireline. I think the only way, unfortunately, the only way to play Glaze is throwing them and making them explode, with the exception of the, what's it called, the Falcor. This is meant to be thrown and not explode instead of, you know, it's just supposed to bounce around. Southwall locked. When you make videos about the best weapons, do you actually compare their power to other weapons, or are you just making clickbait? I love that this is such a suggestive question. I love it. I love the way this question is phrased. I'm going to tell you something. Whenever somebody makes a video on the best mouse unlocked, the best anything in video games, there is always a good dose of opinion in that. And I'm going to be 100% real, right? I was cringing a little bit when I saw Warframe Flow's Coda weapon tier list, not because of what he said or did, right? I'm not taking shots at Flow, but because I think like a 1 minute section at the beginning of the video was just him making disclaimers on, there is my opinion involved, and I tested it like this and that and this, and that is why I say this, and this is why I say that, and yada yada yada. Because when you don't make these ginormous amounts of disclaimers in front of your Warframe video where you're ranking equipment, people are going to lose their absolute shit in the comments over it. It is crazy. You would think that if somebody makes a tier list on weapons, it would just be expected that there is opinion in that, of course, and that weapons are tested by themselves without specific Warframe synergies, and that if you use a specific Warframe synergy, you would mention it. But if you do not do all those disclaimers right at the start, people are going to burn you alive in the comments. And I've had that myself. I'm pretty sure he had that in the past, which is the reason why he made this big portion of a disclaimer at the beginning of the video. And that's why I was cringing a little bit, because I can feel exactly why he did that. Because I've had that myself in the comments when I did not do that. And I think it's really freaking cringe that some people are so incredibly angry over disagreeing or conflicting opinions whether which equipment piece in a video game is better or not. And I'm probably, when I do my tier list, I'm going to do those disclaimers myself. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to make a big ass portion just with disclaimers. Probably I make it even so long on purpose that it becomes hilarious. But that's what I meant to say. Again, not Flow is cringe, but the fact that the man had to make those disclaimers in order to not get backlash, that is cringe. And that is unfortunately, that's unfortunately a thing that is the case with Warframe. So getting back to the original question, sorry for the tangent here. If I make top X Warframes, top X weapons list, then of course that comes from a position of having tested a lot of weapons, but there is always opinion in it. And that's the only way that those lists work. That's the only way that those lists work. Exactly, Takuman, that he had to explain himself so much. I actually think, when you make a top weapons list, it's just expected, right, that this is your point of view and that people are free to disagree, and that's perfectly fine. What I find always a little bit sad is when people take genuine offense in disagreeing on that. You know what? That's why I'm always on stream, why I'm so incredibly open. And whenever somebody asks me what is the best Warframe, I just say Revenant. And I do not give any context. I just say Revenant. Because I think it's a funny bit of rage bait. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Sometimes it's a little guilty pleasure of mine to just not conform with the authorities and not put a big asterisk next to Revenant. Just say Revenant without asterisks. We should have a movement, a political Warframe movement, and we're going to call that movement Revenant without asterisk. What is the best Warframe? Revenant without asterisk. And if you disagree, you are objectively wrong. Oh my, can you believe that? Imagine what would happen if I would have put out a video tomorrow and I would call it Revenant is the best Warframe without asterisk. And if you disagree, you're objectively wrong. Imagine what would happen. Imagine the comment section. Aki, you didn't know that I'm a big rage baiter. I'm not a big rage baiter. I'm a rage baiter in disguise. I do it so subtly that many people don't even realize it. Do you want to see it? I showed it last time. I'm going to show you my secret rage bait. My secret darn rage bait. Where is it? You see that? That's a primed heater charge that's only at level 9. That's the type of rage bait that we're talking about. It's so subtle that only those people that I want to rage bait even notice. It's so subtle that normies don't even notice. Oh man. I said it last time. I have so much endo I could just max it out, no problem. I just don't do it. I just don't do it. That's also one reason why I don't do the Wave Rider quest. I just don't do it. But now let's stop bringing myself into Hell's Kitchen. Let's rather take a look at Spowie's Varuna here, shall we? Oh man. You know, I'm kind of feeling that my stream is probably very boring because I'm just sitting here talking about shit. But on the other hand, it's just so much fun, right? Of course, I could sit here like a robot and just click through the builds really quickly, which probably I should. But I just really like when there are some comments that just create that spark inside of me to want to talk about certain topic XYZ. I just can't help it. I just can't help but yap about it. I think that's just gonna be something that happens on stream right here. What's your opinion on that? Do I yap too much about random bullshit? Do you just want me to concentrate more on the builds and get through more of them, or is it fine? Because I don't know. I'm having a good time, but of course I'm also streaming for you, so it would be nice to hear a little bit of an opinion. Where can you get Augur Secrets, Mana Flayer? Augur Secrets, good question. I think Augur mods, aren't they from bounties in Fortuna or Plains of Eidolon? I'm not 100% sure. Type it into the Warframe wiki. It's going to show you every single enemy that can drop it, or every location. It's going to list all of them. Not boring at all, Ginger Viking. Love the candor. Plus, I'm learning a lot. That's cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love talking Honus, by the way. Welcome. Also, GTS Eternal. Good to see you again. Hello back. Yapping makes me human. Honestly, I've noticed, I've seen recently the Cetus Bounties, Trottler. Thank you for confirming. Augur mods from Cetus Bounties, obviously. Or you get it from Warframe Markets, Bowie. True. Would Korra be the best loot frame, Ed? I think that the best combination of looting would be a team with Necros, Korra, and Atlas. But I do think that Atlas technically is better, if I'm not mistaken, because the loot chance from Atlas scales with ability strength, and Korra's is set to 65%. So I would probably go with Atlas. But you can always go with 3 people, Necros, Atlas, Korra, and that's going to be the best thing you can do for resource farming. So yeah, that's that's kind of the thing. Mouse locked. I was just about to say something, but I kind of forgot what I wanted to say. Hydroid is also, yes, Hydroid also works as a loot frame, but I think he's just the least nice one to play when it comes to looting out of the 3. But that is again an opinion. Unlocked. That is again an opinion. Sweet, thank you, no problem. I was actually thinking about making a video on resource farming, like not on any specific resource, but on what you can do to increase your resource gain in general. And I'm probably going to get to that at some point. And then I'm also going to say, the best Warframes to do that, make sure to get your resource booster, this and that, and all whatnot. Because I think I haven't done a video on that precisely yet, right? Picklenator, yapping is it, but you go to school early tomorrow, it's super... Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the problem when you yap, with different time zones. I am very sorry for that. I think I'm going to finally take a look at the Varuna now. I should do that. Should absolutely do that. So, we have Kullervo's Wrathful Advance. Absolutely clear. Best helmet subsume on Varuna. And Varuna's thing is probably one of the best helmets for Kullervo, so that makes sense. A lot of strength, duration, efficiency, but we have equilibrium, so that's no problem. Pretty standard stuff altogether. It's going to be shield gating. That's fine. What I'm wondering, and I haven't tested that yet, Spowie. I haven't tested it. But the thing is, don't you get, you can be invisible, sure, but doesn't the invisibility end the moment you attack? I was thinking about that. I haven't tested it though, But does Arcane Crepuscular still work if your attack disables your invisibility? Because if that would also disable Arcane Crepuscular in that moment, that would mean that you're not gaining anything from it. That's the only... Oh, with glaives, yes, not with normal melees. Okay. Now, if you've tested it and you've tested it and it worked, then this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. That was just one thought that I had, but I didn't test it myself. If you've had the experience that this works, great build. Definitely gonna slap. Congratulations. Ligma Lord. Excalibur Umbra. I'm using this to run around with my Exalted Blade 24/7. That's the way we play Excalibur. That's the way that we pesky mainstreamers play Excalibur. I know there are people who play Excalibur for the first, and that is perfectly legitimate, but I'm just going to pretend that doesn't exist. Arcane Strike on the second build spot also makes sense. Yeah, Arcane Strike is really cool. A lot of melee attack speed. Really good Arcane. I like it. I love it. That's very good. Hey Blacky, I've noticed a bug with Mag's nuke build where if you're not the host of a mission, the Breach Surge nuke doesn't work. I haven't tested it in multiplayer, but I'm not surprised. These types of things unfortunately happen all the time. And if you've experienced that, then it's probably a thing. So yeah, in that case, probably don't use Breach Surge, which is sad. But unfortunately, multiplayer netcode in Warframe makes a lot of stuff pretty meh sometimes and unreliable, unfortunately. Pickle Nature, you love when you get 600% ability strength in the rear with Harrow and the teammates streak. Yeah. It's, yo, 600% on Harrow, that is crazy. That's really crazy. I love that. I do love that. So, let me take a look at this here. I have one question. One question, Ligma Lord. Why this? Why are we using Arcane Crepuscular? Where are you getting the invisibility from? Because Arcane Crepuscular only works if you're invisible, and you're not having the arcane that makes you invisible on finisher kills. Am I missing something obvious here? Because even if you were using Shade with this, you said you're using Exalted Blade, but the moment you attack with Exalted Blade, your Shade is going to cancel the invisibility because it's a weapon attack. Even though it's a skill, it's a weapon too. So I think this one is just not going to get triggered, or am I blind? Sciayati. Oh, Sciayati, yeah. That might be. Sciayati can make you invisible for a while. That's true. Good point. Thank you, Firelion. The thing is, everybody's saying Shade. Shade says, or in general, it is that way, that if you kill an enemy with abilities, or if you attack with abilities, it's not going to cancel the invisibility from Shade. But if the ability is a weapon at the same time, then it is considered both a weapon and an ability, and the weapon part then cancels the invisibility. Otherwise, this would be absolutely freaking OP. I think Sciayati is the only reasonable explanation, but then again, if you're using Exalted Blade, like you said, Ligma Lord, then it can't be Sciayati, right? Yeah, that's sort of the only thing that I have in mind right now. Other than that, it looks like a pretty fine build. Absolutely. But yeah, Ligma Lord, I would... is Ligma Lord in chat right now? Ah, there we go. Radial Blind Sciayati, okay, so you do Radial Blind, then the Sciayati, and then you go Exalted Blade. Okay, then it makes sense. Thank you for the clarification. Then it makes sense. Then this build is fully functional. It's actually a pretty creative idea. In that case, if you play it like that, though, I would actually go so far to consider maybe going for that arcane, I forgot the name, that gives you invisible... No, forget what I said. No, it's fine. It's fine. I think this is good. Equilibrium for the energy. Yeah, but it's all right. It's good. It's a very creative idea. I didn't even think about that. So thanks to educating us on that, I would say. Lazy Mike just arrived on stream. Welcome first. Any Colorvo tips and builds? I have a YouTube video on that. If you want to have a suggestion for a Colorvo build, you might want to check that out later if you have the time. That's interesting, Twin Rage. By the way, also welcome to you on stream. I haven't really played Avara, so I can't really get into that whole discussion. But I think Crepuscular is one of the craziest freaking strong arcanes ever. Like 3x flat crit damage multiplier on top at the end. That is hilarious. I think this is melee influence levels of strong, and it doesn't look like it at first glance. Smokescreen, you're building a second Colorvo just for a subzoom? Oh, because you want to sacrifice him. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Wrathful Advance is such a strong ability, not gonna lie. It makes sense to have two Colorvos and then sacrificing one. Oh, we have a Nidus Prime look. Wait. Kaylee Rosa. Just between the two of us. Can it be that you're actually DE Megan and this is an alt account? Because I don't know about you, but when I see that Nidus, I'm getting pretty strong DE Megan vibes. Am I the only one? You wish. You wish. No, not gonna lie. I like the color scheme. It's something really, really unique and different. The pastel colors for Nidus. I actually really dig this. I like the, I'm gonna call it girly vibe to him. But this is strong DE Megan vibes, not gonna lie. This is absolutely strong DE Megan vibes. Mino, any tips on dual Toxicist? Do I have a build on dual Toxicist on YouTube? Not 100% sure. I can show you a quick dual Toxicist build in my arsenal over there. It's a freaking strong secondary. Probably, maybe even potentially the strongest secondary from damage output wise. I have these evolutions right here. And then I have... Okay, this build is meant to be played with Volt. But it gives a pretty decent idea, right? You go for Galvanized Shot, Galvanized Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, crit chance, crit damage. This is the standard stuff. The damage that you're going to deal with this is absolutely batshit crazy. Dual Toxicist in Karnon is absolutely freaking crazy. Zelochi, welcome! Good to see you. Wish you a beautiful Wednesday. Charlie John CJ, well, you're new to the game. Rank 5 is Protea Prime and Paris Prime a solid option. Paris Prime depends on whether you like bows. If you like bow gameplay in general, then Paris Prime is definitely something you can roll with, especially because later in the game you can get an Incarnon for the Paris, which makes it even stronger. It's not necessarily the best bow in the game, but it's good enough to pretty much do anything. Protea is a very, very good Warframe. Can definitely recommend that. She is pretty versatile. She has crazy damage. She has crowd control. She has good survivability. Absolute good choice there. Yeah, like Protea and Paris are not like super synergistic like the Warframe with the weapon. But individually, both the weapon, if you like both, that is, plus the Warframe is a good choice. I would say that. And by the way, welcome to the stream and welcome to Warframe rank 5. How long you been playing? By the way, speaking of Protea, we do have a Protea build right here. Guess what? Nightfall Alicorn, good to see you. No, probably you're not late. There's VODs. There's VODs on YouTube. There's VODs on Twitch, even though on Twitch they get deleted after 2 weeks. It's perfectly fine. Everybody's welcome. Nobody is too late. If you really wanted to catch up, you could always do that. It's never too late. And hi, Ant Colony, and hi, Predator. Wait, Predator, you've been there before. I read you in chat before. You're not late. Don't pretend. I'm not comparing regular Prime weapons to Incarnons. I'm just saying that if you have the Prime now at Mastery Rank 5, then it's cool because later in the game, you can upgrade it one more time to the Incarnon. Compared to other weapons that are good in the early game, but they don't have any late game upgrade, will fall off. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so let's take a look at this Protea right here, as we were speaking about Protea. First of all, high range, like that. For Protea, very, very good. Very, very good. We're gonna have... Oh, this is the augment for the 4, right? Is it? Temporal Anchor? Yeah. Oh, this is one of the Proteas that has the... Is it the one where the turret stays with you while you're running around? Haven't tested that myself. But I think it's cool. I also like the range. One thing I'm wondering a little bit is, I think for Protea, it's probably not the best idea to play into health tanking with Armor and Arcane Reaper. Because with your shield drones, you get 5 seconds of shield gating, plus if you put something like Adaptation on, your shield is going to be so tanky that until very high levels, you will not even need to shield gate because your shield tanking is already enough. So I would personally suggest replacing the Arcanes with something completely different and rather go for Redirection and Adaptation as defensive tools, or maybe just Redirection. And then just use your shield replenishing grenades to give you survivability. I think that's the way that Protea is intended to be, because you can just spam those grenades and always be in the shield gating and never die. That is perfect. But I like the fact that you're going for a decent sum of range and duration. That's cool. You're too broke for better mods. That's no problem. I think you have redirection though. I think you have redirection. Baba Yaga 05, Revenant. Oh, I have another Revenant. Jeez, almost as if Revenant is the most popular Warframe. Can you believe it? I don't have Arcane Acceleration. Okay, I don't have it at rank 5. That's true. That's very true. That's very true. Piano Gamer, do I have a speed build for Excalibur? No, not really. Haven't really thought about that though. Gotta be real. It is a bit unfortunate, I'm sorry, but no, I have never thought about making him a speedster. It's a cool idea, though. And yes, Sunny Boy, I personally also do not like the 4 all too much. I always subsume over it for Protea. But I know that some people like it, and that's perfectly fine. Oh, Gaming, yes, Temporal Artillery. Yes, that is the new augment, which makes it that the gun comes with you. Thank you. Yes, Temporal Artillery. Yeah, then without Temporal Artillery, 4 is a bit weird. That's true. Also, welcome Poo Poo Man. what a nickname. Edward Watery, do you plan to make a new Mesa Red Crit build with Arcane Hotshot? Edward. Dear Edward, please delete your malware from my hard drive, because ain't no way you're asking me that the day where I started working on exactly that build, the day where I bought for 1,000 platinum a rank 5 Arcane Hotshot to make a Red Crit Mesa build, an updated version of the one that I did a year and a half or so ago. Yes, I will put that out. If the stars align and everything goes well, then you're gonna see that actually already tomorrow. But yes, I have that. By the way, I can actually show you. Because I think I'm pretty set. The build is already pretty much done. I think I like it the way it is. Yeah, no, not that. That's probably going to be the one that I showcase in the video. Autumn Night updated Mesa video probably tomorrow. I don't know how much work it will be to do the cutting and everything. I just did the build and the testing today. Probably, if everything goes well, I might be able to do it tomorrow evening. Secondary Innovate, cough, cough. Yep. You mean... No, Secondary Innovate I think is actually pretty bad on the Peacemakers. Not gonna lie, I think Secondary Innovate is not good. because secondary innovate implies that you need to have a relatively low crit chance. That's best on weapons that have a low crit chance. And the crit chance of the regulated is actually pretty good. So I wouldn't go innovate. I know a lot of people like it, but I wouldn't do it. I like secondary encumber because if you have secondary encumber, then the status effect that it triggers will stack up your arcane impetus to the maximum, which is very good. It is very good. More on that tomorrow. More on that tomorrow, friends. Hopefully tomorrow. Not going to guarantee it. Might be that it takes too much time and it has to be Friday, but it will be this week. It will be this week. Let's take a look at Revenant Prime from Baba Yaga, shall we? Arcane Hotshot, better Hotshot than Avenger? Yeah, Secondary Innovate, Pickle Nature, that's true. Secondary Innovate is really darn good on the Occu core. It's also really darn good on the Kuvanu core. It is. Not so much on the regulators, in my opinion. 2 videos in 1 week, Corey? No, it's actually going to be 3. No, 4. If everything goes right, we're going to have 4 videos this week. We're going to have the one from, when was it? Yesterday with the Tomcat. We're going to have, ideally, Mesa tomorrow. We're going to have maybe a video on the new Grineer weapon from the event that's going to happen this coming weekend on Friday or Saturday. And then Saturday night after the dev stream, we're going to have the dev stream recap. So if everything goes the way that I have planned it, we're going to have 4 videos this week. That's the plan, at least. Let's see if we can make it happen. Gagay boy, hey, hello. Just built the AK, you mean the AX52, and want to build a headshot crit build. Would it be wise to put an element on it? That depends if you already have the Nightwave augment for the AX52. If yes, then I think it does already put viral and something else on it, right? If you have that, I think that's all the elements that you really need. With the AX52, I would go for a purely headshot build though, and I would use this mod that gives you more headshot damage and more headshot crit chance at the cost of multi-shot. I think that is the high risk, high reward way to play the AX52. It's going to be hilarious. And once I have that Nightwave augment, I am also going to make an updated build on it where I showcase the raw power. I think it's going to be some very, very badass red crits with that thing. I think it's going to be very, very good. Viral Magnet, thank you, Sonny Boy. Yeah, I still don't have that. Need to play some Nightwave, not gonna lie. I need to play some Nightwave, man. I need to do an Exploiter Orb still for this week. Hey, chat, do we want to do an Exploiter Orb later? You want to do an Exploiter Orb? Let's take a look at a Revenant. So we have Corrosive Projection. That is fine. We have very high strength. Me likes that. Range, not really needed if you go with Zata. Efficiency also not needed. Sure, you have Energize. Yeah. This be good. This be good. Also, Mesmer Shield, your teammates are going to love it. Teammates are going to love it. Mesmer Shield is also such a freaking OP mod. If you have a well-coordinated team, I'm going to be 100%. If you have Mesmer Shield, it is so OP. It is just so OP. Love it. No, it's a good build. It's a good build. Nothing more I can say. As a Revenant simp myself, I do agree. You do get the pass. You pass this test. Oh no, it's ad time again, is it? It's ad time? I am sorry. I am very sorry. So yeah, we can take a look at the waterfall while the ads are happening. They need to change Nightwave, bueno. Yeah, I think it was cool when they still had like those little story bits, but I think this was just too much work, so they had to cancel it and just make it a normal battle pass without any like flavor story, which is sad, but I kind of get it, right? They're having like 200-ish employees. They're definitely not a small indie company, but they're also not freaking Ubisoft. So I do agree. I would like Nightwave to be a bit more interesting again, but I also think it's probably not going to be possible, unfortunately. Yeah. You're also working for the Nightwave mod. Yeah, I need that. I still think I still need 3 more levels or so. I think we have 2 more weeks before the Nightwave ends. I think that's possible. It's definitely possible. Is Arcane Reaper and Colony, is Arcane Reaper good on Atlas? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure. Gives you armor, gives you health regeneration. It's fine. Kirito, you are MR6 and you got lucky with Hammer Shot. Definitely keep it for yourself. Definitely keep it for yourself. I think the sales price is also not that high that it would be really beneficial to sell that. If you want to sell something for platinum, just run a couple relics and sell off whatever you get out of them. As a new player, I think just cracking random relics and selling that stuff is better than actually selling off mods that you just got and that you don't have yourself. What Autumn Light you got? What? It took you MR18? MR18 to get Hammer Shot? Jeez. I must have gotten really lucky. I got that really early. I just ran a couple nightmare missions and just got it. I didn't even know that it had such a low drop rate. I was not even aware. Oh man, Tempest, no, I do not yet have a Steel Path Synapse build, but I'm gonna give you a build on the Coda Synapse once I make the Coda Lich Weapon tier list that we spoke about earlier. Let's take a look at Zenflare right here with a Wisp build. A nice little Wisp build. Dreamer's Bond, okay. First of all, Dreamer's Bond, I would replace it with Energy Siphon if you really need that. Because Energy Siphon gives you double the energy per second, and with Wisp you already have an ability that heals you constantly, so you don't need the healing portion of Dreamer's Bond. That means if you wanted it for the Energy Siphon is better. Archon Vitality is fine. Archon Continuity. Abilities that inflict Toxin will also deal Corrosive. Are you going to inflict Toxin with this? I think you're not going to inflict Toxin with this. It needs to be with abilities, though. I think you're not doing that. Or am I bugging? I think you can use Prime Continuity instead. Archon Stretch, those good. Even more energy. Yeah, I think this is really good. Just make sure that you run it with what was it? Which bond mod was it? Was it Contagious Bond or the bond mod that gives you plus 1.5 times crit, plus 1.2 times crit damage multiplier when your crit rate on the companion is 50% or higher. That bond mod, that you definitely want to use that with Wisp because it increases the crit damage multiplier of Breach Surge, and that is really good. Ideally, if you ever have that, replace Arcane Bellicose with Arcane Crepuscular because that's absolutely omega busted on Wisp, and that's basically it. Tenacious Bond, thank you, Cephalon Billy. By the way, first words, welcome to the stream, Billy. Firelight, put Archon Continuity because it looks good. It's just about the bling. Hey, it's just about the flex. That's how we roll here. No, but all in all, I think it's a good concept. It's kind of interesting that you use Chirinka Pillar. I gotta say though, I think the second skill on Wisp is way too OP to subsume over it. But I get that, you know, you're using the 4 with the augment, so you're not subsuming over that naturally. I think just that honestly her 2 is so freaking overpowered. Never subsume over that. Giga support Wisp. Everybody who says Tenacious Bot, thank you so much for notifying me. Yeah, sometimes I just struggle with mod names. Like, I know exactly what the mod does, but the name just doesn't come to mind. Right? I can like almost quote the text on the mod word by word, but I just forget the name. It just happens so often, even for like super standard stuff. I can imagine I think there was one day where I was talking to a friend and I just wanted to talk about Arcane Avenger, and for the love of God, the name Arcane Avenger didn't come up. I was just like, yeah, that Arcane, it gives you 45% flat crit chance whenever your shield or your health gets damaged. What was the name again? Oh yeah, Arcane Avenger. You know what I mean? It just happens. Croston, can you please share your opinion on which is better, volatile quick return or volatile rebound? I need to read into it again. I know that everybody uses volatile quick return on explosive glaive builds, but I need to... Why do I not have... there. Volatile rebound, 100% chance to explode on bounce, and 100% to explode on... Okay. Yeah, the reason why you use volatile quick return on glaives over volatile rebound is because you have +3 blast radius. What that means is that the radius of the explosion that happens when you detonate the glaive midair, that radius is increased by 3 meters, meaning you hit more enemies with the explosion, and that is the only reason why you use that. The 100% chance to explode on bounce, you actually don't even want that. The only reason why you want that is the blast radius, because you don't even let the glaive bounce. You just throw it and make it explode mid-air and get the 3 meters extra range. Because if you go for something like reach, right, this also gives you 3 meters range, but the range from reach is like a literal extension of the hitbox of your blade. Let's say your sword is, in reality, 1.2 meters long. If you put primed reach on it, then the hitbox of the sword is going to get 3 meters longer than the sword physically is. That is how reach works, but reach does have no effect on AoE explosions. That's what you need volatile quick return for, and that's why you use that on all the glaives except the Falcor. Or do we use that on the Falcor? Do we use that on the Falcor? Did I use that on the Falcor? I don't even remember. No, I didn't use that on the Falcor because the Falcor works differently. We can talk about that at some point. That's probably enough for a whole video. Yeah. Hope that helped. Hope that helped. Any suggestion for an ability to help you survive Green Lantern? Mirage's Eclipse. Absolutely 100% Mirage's Eclipse. Gives you 75% damage resistance on shields and health. If you want a helmet that helps you survive, Mirage's Eclipse is really the only answer. Theoretically, Nova's Null Star can do the same thing, but it's hella cringe because you need to recast it all the time. So yeah, Mirage's Eclipse, definitely. I think 9 out of 10 Warframe players would choose this over Null Star. It doesn't work. No, Alicorn, Nightfall Alicorn. It's really fucking hilarious if you mod it right. Like, it's crazy. It just goes down the corridor and everything dies. You don't even need to detonate it manually. That is the great thing about the Falcor, right? The Zores, everybody loves it because it does it have forced electricity on the mid-air detonation? I'm not sure. But the Falcor has that forced electricity on bounce. And if you combine that with melee influence, it is absolutely hilarious. It is absolutely... By the way, if you want to see that in action, my old Nova video from last year, I do use there. I used that Falcor there, and I go with Blast modded onto it, and because the electricity is force procced, that means with every bounce, it force procs Blast on everybody. It just makes the entire room explode. It is crazy. It just goes through the enemy rows like, and everything explodes. That talk anything about melee influence there. So yeah, which throwable, that guy, which throwable melee weapon would I recommend? I like the Zores. I just like the Zores. But you can use any other throwable melee weapon, really. They're all, with melee influence, they're all relatively close to one another. The Falcor is the only one that performs a little different, but the Falcor relies on having a lot of enemy density, so it's not as universal. Let's look at Zombie Farts Dante right here. Zombie Farts Dante. That's a good nickname, by the way. Zombie Fart. My man. That's it. By the way, right? For some nicknames, I don't know about you, right? But for some nicknames, you just know it's a dude, right? You just know it's a dude. What? Dystopia! Thank you, Dystopia. That is so nice. Thank you, Oh, here we go. Darn, man. Dystopia. Stop it. That's you? Oh, that's you, really? Really, Dystopia, that's you? Okay, that's crazy. No, what I wanted to say is for some nicknames, you just know it's a dude. You just know that because only we guys tend to take pride in and enjoy childish things like that, right? If you were to go to somebody and you're like, yeah, I created an account and I called it Zombie Fart. I swear to God, if you go into a room full of guys and you say that, everybody's gonna laugh. Everybody's gonna laugh. And if you go into a room full of girls and you say that, they're gonna be like, where am I here? I want to go home. It's just like this childish, quote unquote, fart poop humor. It's just such a boys thing. And I love it. I love it that a room full of hardened, grown-ass men can all burst out laughing about a nickname like Zombie Fart. Oh man, it's just really lovely. What's Medi? Yo, I thought you were already gone. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's a goat. It is a goated name. I'm not trying to make fun of it. It is a goated name. But I just love the simplicity of male humor, and I fully indulge it. I once saw a clip from Josh Strive-Hayes, a streamer and YouTuber that I follow because I love his shit. And he made a joke that was so freaking bad, so freaking cringe, I fell off the chair laughing. I know it's dead. I know a lot of people would be like, all right, a little play on words, whatever. But the child in me was just dead. It was over. It was just over. It was just over, man. And I just love that type of humor. I have a friend in real life. He's actually the DM in our Dungeons and Dragons group. He loves that shit as well. He tells those jokes all day long. If he heard one of those dad jokes 2 years ago, he could recall it at a moment's notice. If I were to call him now and be like, yo, I need you to make half an hour full of stream content just with dad jokes starting now, he will pull it off. Yo, Josh, if you ever see that, Josh, we might be able to do that one day. Why not? If you want to. He's a friend. Bro, no, Smitty. No. If Josh Strive-Hayes was a friend of mine in real life, I could die a happy man. Like that is the last checkbox on my life quest list that I have to fulfill. Meeting Josh Strive-Hayes in real life, that would be crazy. Yo, Nerdy, what's going on? Good to see you. By the way, Mr. Does Not Work right here is a German YouTube colleague of mine. Can I shout you out, or is it still too early? Nerdy, can I shout you out, or is it still too early? Answer me now. Just gonna say, don't do it. Okay. So Does Not Work. Just don't think about him. He's just a viewer like anyone else. He's not a German-speaking YouTuber. Definitely not. Definitely not gonna make any videos. Never. And even if he did, they would just be bad, right? That's the reality. Do not question it. Cappuccino, by the way, welcome. Just saw that. Just do it. No, I don't know. I don't think that Nerdy even uses this Twitch account for anything. So I don't think it would make sense to do a shout out here now. Well, let's finally take a look at Dante, right? With that nickname, we need to take a look at Fart Zombie Dante. Oh, man. Okay, so we have a lot of strength. I like that. Jeez, bro. Keep that money. Thank you so much. You're welcome for the non-shout out. By the way, I'm going to give you another non-shout out. Does Not Work is the worst Warframe creator. He's so bad he's not even an official Warframe creator anymore. Never ever watch anything that he puts out. And Yeah, that's just my final word on the guy. Just gotta be real. No, I'm just kidding. Smitty, where's the hype train? I don't know, but we don't need to have 3 separate hype train in every single video, in every single stream. That's perfectly fine. Can you get those bits back? You gotta come and rip them out of my cold dead hands. Oh man, just kidding. Big love to Nerdy, big love. So let's finally talk about the Dante. We have a lot of strength, that's good. We don't have a subzoom, that's good, because Dante doesn't need the subzoom. We have, yeah, duration, everything. Armor and ability strength. Interesting. I probably would not use this. I mean, you don't need armor because you have overguard and ability strength. 15 is not all that much. You could use, what is it, Augur Secrets in here. That would be more ability strength. And I don't think you need the armor, honestly. So, yeah, that's a bit... Oh, do you use it for heavy attack shenanigans? I don't know. The good thing with Dante, though, is, and I don't know if you've seen my Dante video where I explained this, the fact that your Noctua is an exalted weapon, but it only drains energy when you shoot it, that means you can use energy regeneration mods like Energy Nexus, and it will increase your energy even if the exalted is out, because it is not technically a channeled ability. That is really, really freaking good on Dante. That was a really good thing. That's also why you're using Archon Stretch, right? No, I think that's a pretty fine Dante. I think he's going to do a lot of damage. I think he's going to get a lot of overguard. And I have not really anything to add right here. Just maybe like, I don't really know what the whole Mars hatred is about. But other than that, 50k overguard, yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Noctua on that thing, yeah, absolutely. We're going to do that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take a look at this hate config right here, and then I want to actually play the game a little bit. After that, I want to do the Exploiter Orb because I need that shit for the Nightwave. And we're gonna take a look at that. We are going to do that because I actually want to, do a little bit of slam dunking cryo sort of thingies onto big spiders. Sounds about right for a Wednesday afternoon. Cappuccino, can you join me for the orb later? By the way, everybody who wants to do Exploiter Orb with me after I went over the build, I will message me now. I will scroll to the end of the list, and I'm just gonna randomly pick 3 people who want to join in for that. But let's take a look at the hate. Let's take a look at the hate, though. Texas Cowboy, you unlocked the Exploiter Orb about a week ago. Actually, I think the Exploiter Orb is a really good boss fight. I think a lot of people don't like the Exploiter Orb because it takes a set amount of time. You can't really speedrun it. But I like it. I think it's a very well-designed boss fight. So, what do we have here? This is obviously a heavy attack build, right? You're using Life Strike for the heal, Galvanized Reflex, Killing Blow. That is perfectly fine. I would use Amalgam Organ Shatter instead of normal Organ Shatter. And I would use either Condition Overload or Prime Pressure Point instead of Sacrificial Pressure. And that is about it. That's about what I would have to add to this. Other than that, this is a very fine heavy attack build. Depending on, of course, which Warframe you use, you might not need the heal from Life Strike, but, that's, of course, subjective. Yeah, that would be my take on the hates. On the hate note, I do not have Arcanes unlocked, so I bought Galvanized Steel. This is used with Naros. I haven't unlocked Steel Path. Is this build viable for Steel Path sorties? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely viable. Does work. You're going to get a lot of damage out of this. Once you have Steel Path unlocked, and once you have access to melee arcanes, go for melee afflictions in here. For a Scythe heavy attack build, go for melee afflictions. It is ridiculous. You're gonna deal millions of damage. It is crazy. By the way, I'm proud though that you have Prime Smite Grenier. I am proud. No, I think you're gonna do all right with this. Okay. Let us do the Exploiter Orb. For those who want to join the Exploiter Orb, I'm going to scroll all the way to the end and invite those who signed up for the Exploiter Orb. Holy cow, that's a lot. Invite for Exploiter. Yeah, Cappuccino said Cappuccino wanted to be invited. Who is in for Exploiter Orb? Message me now. Anyone Exploiter Orb? Can't be just Cappuccino, right? But I should maybe go into freaking Fortuna first. Yeah, let me go into freaking Fortuna first before I do anything with inviting here.
Hello?
We're going to take a look at the rest of the builds later.
Mouse
Don't worry.
Hello?
No, I don't have mouse. No, I need to do that with keyboard. How can I select that with the keyboard? By the way, you're in solo mode. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm going to change that as soon as I have my mouse back. I was thinking about changing the mouse
unlocked.
The mouse and keyboard unlocked commands. I was thinking about changing that, not to mouse and keyboard lock, but to something like only primary weapon or only melee weapon or something, which would make it less tedious and more fun. What do you think about that? Because I think, you know, mouse and keyboard locking is all nice and well, but I think it would be more fun if I were like forced to swap weapons around and stuff. I think that would be more fun overall. And now, gotta quickly wait until the keyboard is not locked
Mouse
anymore.
locked. Keyboard unlocked.
Great. So, yeah, now I need to wait until the mouse is not locked anymore. Man, y'all are crazy. You like both, Smitty. I know.
Mouse unlocked.
So, we had Cappuccino. Yeah, you said you wanted to be invited. I do remember. Invite for Exploiter. Invite for Exploiter. There we got our squad. And while y'all are coming in, I'm gonna change my equipment a little bit because I think I wanna go a little bit sandy. I think I wanna take my super bling Excalibur because I genuinely don't really care. I just wanna go with something that deals damage. Exploiter Orb is not all that like I'm just gonna go with, I don't even know which element the guy is weak against. It's just gonna be fine. It's all right. It's all right. Let's just go in and do that. Yes, Smitty, definitely, Smitty. You should copy that for yourself. It's cool. Just to be 100% sure here, for the Exploiter Orb, just go into random and then fly over there and trigger the thing, right? We don't need to accept any mission first, do we? I think it's just going in, right? Oh, the thing, Necrontic, is, yeah, it would be cool to have like a channel point reward where I have to use a certain build. That is 100% true. The thing is just that, unfortunately, where the heck was that? Where was that even? It's been so long. Can somebody put a marker on the map? I don't even remember where the Exploiter Orb was. Wasn't it like here? I think it's somewhere there. Okay. Let's go there. East, all right. Yeah, you know these things, right? You don't do them for ages, and then you think you remember, but actually you don't. I know that you need diluted thermia in order to start the thing. I'm coming. Oh, I know why I don't find anything anymore. The last time I played this was before the Armor quest. I don't even remember this part of the map being not full of ice. That's crazy. It's gonna be the first spring Exploiter Orb. Okay, where the heck do... Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. I know we gotta go up here and put the diluted thermia into there. Oh, that's nice. You sponsored. Thank you. Nerfatism, you have a question? Sure, you feel free to ask it. If I can ask it, if I can answer it without taking a look at the build, then I'm gonna answer it right away. Depends on what the question is. Frank Dolphin didn't even know this exists. It's actually, I think even though a lot of people do not like this boss fight, I genuinely think it is one of the better boss fights in the game. Yeah, I should have maybe not used this. I think it's one of the better boss fights because it is not one of those boss fights where you get constantly knocked down and bounce around like a freaking ping pong ball. I really do not like these boss fights that are just all about, you know, bouncing you around and crowd controlling you and all whatnot, where the whole the whole screen is full of visual diarrhea. I don't like these type of boss fights. And I think this one here is nicer. Exactly, Cappuccino. 12k for a Torah from this baddie right here. So yeah, for everybody who has never done Exploiter Orb, the way that the first stage works is actually pretty simple. You wait on at these pipes here for the thermia to come out, and then you throw that at her butt, because there are iced vents at her butt, and this is where she takes damage. And you gotta hit those iced vents with the thermia, which does not work if a spider jumps in your face, then it just explodes in your face. But if you hit her butt with the thermia, then it melts the ice and you can deal damage. And once all these radiators are broken or melted or destroyed or however you want it, then you go into the second phase, which is actually a lot more fun and it's outside. And it's a lot more NBA slam dunky. Okay, let me just aim that well this time. Okay, I think I got one, yeah. Damaged one. Just gonna stay on target for a second. Yeah, I think I should have evolved into the Incarnon form. Not gonna lie, that's cringe. That was probably the worst weapon choice for this mission. I am sorry. Jeez. Can I transform it on the small spiders? Where is... I just need some freaking headshots to evolve this Incarnon weapon. That was such a bad idea. Exactly. Exactly, Brinkley. I also... It has taken me...
Mouse locked.
It's been so long since I last did the Exploiter Orb. I didn't even consider all these things like, you know, maybe not bringing in an Incarnon weapon. Maybe, you know, knowing where on the map it is and all that stuff. You know, if you don't play the game for a while, you think you remember all of it, but once you do it, you realize you don't.
Mouse unlocked.
Once you realize... I got a little bit of an Incarnon charge. Okay. A little bit. Tiny little bit. Frank Dolphin, can you just buy a good amp with platinum? Unfortunately not. I think amps are not tradable. Think they need to be built. But you can buy amp arcanes and stuff. That's possible. Oh, I think I hit, right? I hit. You know what? I'm just going to evolve it right now as is. It's only one charge. It's just 34 shots. It's going to be fine. I think we need what? Yeah, we need one more canister. Shields down? Okay. Let's ice her. Quite literally. Oh. You already hit her? Alright. So yeah, that would be phase 2. Now we just gotta get out of here. Edward, what does the Exploiter Orb drop as a reward? It gives you a toroid that can be redeemed for 12,000 standing. It's actually more than the toroids from the Profit Taker, because this one takes longer. But in reality, what you really get out of it is Hildren and the Hildren parts. That's how you farm Hildren. It's probably some of the hidden and forbidden knowledge that has been lost due to time since Hildren Prime came out. But oh, why is it lagging? But this is actually how you farm Hildren. I don't know if there's any other drops in here that you really want other than the Taurid and Hildren. But yeah, for this week's Nightwave, we do need to do that. Technic, you bought Hildren. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dystopia, again. You gotta have a good rest. Well, then absolutely have a good night, Dystopia. It was nice to have you around as always. Have a good sleep, sweet dreams, and maybe, potentially, hypothetically, you don't dream of big robot spiders. That would be very good. That would be my request for the night. Please do not dream of robot spiders, and have a good rest. See you soon. Nice for you tuning in. Thank you so much. Eddie G7, do you think that having a heat and status mod on the Verglass Prime with Nautilus to spread that heat with its clones for heat inherit? Let me quickly think. So you put heat on the Verglass. If you put heat on the Verglass, it's going to mix with the cold and it's going to give you blast. And even if you put it on the clones, I think, if I'm not completely mistaken, don't the clones just adopt the build that you have on the weapon, and then they would also deal blast? I think if you really want to do heat with the Verglass, that would be... And that's the first cutscene, by the way. If you want to deal heat with the Verglass, you gotta use Fired Up as a mod on the companion, or you got a mod for something that includes the cold and then add heat. Yeah, but I think using companions for heat inherit is fine. I would probably just use a different weapon. The Tazakor, for example, I think is much better for spreading status effects than the Verglass. The Verglass is really only good for spreading what's it called? The Verglass is only good for spreading cold with Shivering Contagion. Shivering Contagion is such an OP mod. Just go pure cold, Shivering Contagion. You're going to do AoE cold spread. If you don't want an AoE other spread, so to speak, go with the Tazakor and try to make that happen. That would be my personal suggestion. Exactly, man, like Gibbon. You got to transform the cold into something else first, and then you can also have the heat separately. That is possible. Oh, there's another one. By the way, for everybody who does not know, these canisters, you just throw them at the spider. Maybe the spider dodges like this, which is cringe. But that's the whole reason. You pick up the canisters, put them into the thermia fractures, and then they heat up. And that then drives up the heat meter on the big spider. You also want to make sure that the small spiders just stay the frick away from it, because they cool it down again. Now I remember the entire mechanic. I was like, before I did the mission, I was like, I remember you got to put like blue containers into the thermia fractures, and then you got to throw something, but I didn't remember the whole thing. Now I do remember. You take the blue containers, put them in the fractures until they turn orange, and then you throw the orange thing at the spider. Now I get it. Now I am full back online. Now I have all the knowledge on the Exploiter Orb again, and also it's going to one-hit kill you when it dies. That is also true. But Inaros can survive it by using the 2. Or was it the 2? The 3? Not 100% sure. Is there anything other than Volt Shield and Quantum Mutualist that can enhance operator amp damage? That's a very good question. That is a very good question. If I had ever been interested in doing Eidolons and such, I probably would know better. So I'm going to give that question to chat, because I am really not that well versed on all the operator shenanigans. I am very sorry. I know that Volt Shield, of course, because of the electricity damage and everything, is a thing. Yeah, sure. Hey ho, Sun Tenjin, welcome to the stream. First time spectator. Well then, welcome. I wish you a beautiful Wednesday. We are right here playing NBA Sports, throwing rebounds at big spiders. Christian, you need help with Banshee. How does her abilities work? That's a good question. I need to actually take a look at Banshee. I haven't taken a look at her in a while. The only thing that I ever used for Banshee was her silence as a subzoom, and I was just like, yeah, that's fine. That's about right. Just take the one subzoom, and that's good. It's all fine. It's all nice and dandy. So yeah, Banshee is one of the frames that I definitely need to take a look at. And welcome, Carlo. Lightning Vulture, there's an arm on skill tree node that gives you more amp damage. Thank you for mentioning that. That's good to know. Hope that helped a bit. Can augment mods proc Archon mods? Zach, that's a good question. Can augment mods proc? I think they should. I think they should, sure, if it's an augment for an ability, and the Archon mod says it needs to be triggered with an ability, then the augments would naturally trigger that ability. Yeah, I think they can. Yeah, sure. I think even if it's an augment for a... Yeah, but there's no augment for... By the way, we're gonna die now. I'm gonna totally let her kill me. Yeah, technically, I don't think why it wouldn't work. Yes, exactly, Jude. Companions can trigger Archon Stretch, that's true. But, unfortunately... Oh no, I am dead. Wait, maybe I can just revive myself by punching this little spider here. Revive me! Sandman needs to nom his toroid. Ah, too bad. Oh, thanks for picking me up. Did I pick up the thing? Yeah, I did pick it up. Alright. Then it's all good. One thing I wanted to mention is Arcane Ice Storm does not get triggered by companions, unfortunately. This is one of the biggest Fs, or the biggest Ls, the biggest Fs, the biggest please pay respect right here, is that Arcane Ice Storm cannot freaking be triggered by your companions. This is such a shame. It would be such an OP Arcane if it could be triggered by your companions. That would be so good. Dirago with Stretch is funny. Absolutely, yeah, it's just free energy regen all the time. See, as I said, you get the Lazuli toroids, which are worth 12k standing, and the Hildren systems and all the other components for her. And apparently a whole lot of minerals and stuff. Forgot about that, but yeah, you get minerals. Thank you, by the way, for the Exploiter Orb run. This means I can now tick that off the list for this week's Nightwave. Isn't that beautiful? Free one capture Solaris using a Granum Crown. Oh, we can do that. We can do that. I'm going to take a look at some more user builds now. We're going to do it from Fortuna here. I mean, why not? It's cozy. We can just stand here, look at the workers who are not being paid, and just not work ourselves. That is fine. By the way, thank you so much for the runs, everybody. Let's now take a look at more user builds. You got 36k standing capacity. Now that's really good. You got three orbs? That's nice. I missed one of the Vegators. Yeah, apparently I did. Apparently I did. Exactly. Hikayu, that's what I mean. The spaghetti code in Warframe is crazy. Socrates, unfortunately, by the way, Socrates, also you're one of the newer channel members. I remember your name. I was like, oh, that's a name that I haven't read out in the credits before. By the way, welcome to the stream. Infested Bane mods, unfortunately, though, do not work on Techrot. That's the problem. For the Skuldra and the Techrot, we do not have any Bane mods. And I would really, really like that. I think right about now, it should be the time where we get primed Bane mods for Murmur and normal Bane mods for Skuldra and Coda. I think it's about time. What do you think? I think it's about time we get faction mods for Skuldra and Techrod.
Welcome, channel.
And also,
Our numbers
Dantel6 subscribe to the channel. Dantel, thank you so much for your sub. Much fun with the emotes and the loyalty badges. By the way, everybody in chat, and I did say that last time, but I want to say it again because I kind of feel guilty about it. The loyalty emote, the loyalty badge, geez, language is hard, can't brain today. The loyalty badges next to the names in chat, which are currently just those private sort of military symbols in gray, they don't look pretty, but that is just the first month. Once you're in month 2, you're going to get 2 little triangles, and it's going to be bronze, and then it's going to be silver, and then it's going to be gold, and then it's going to be platinum, and then it's going to be diamond, and then it's going to be purple-ish, and then it's going to be a year from now, and then I hopefully have some idea which color should come after purple, because I genuinely have no idea. I think I'm going to have to end my Twitch career at the 1-year mark, because I just do not have an idea on how to one-up a double diamond purplish loyalty badge. I have no idea. Red, Christian? Red? Oh, man. Poo-Poo, you sent me an in-depth question on Kome. Unfortunately, I have missed that. Can you post it again in chat? Let's take a look at the Zaku fashion in the meantime. Honestly, right now, I'm just looking for a good Torrid Incarnon build. Leonard, I do have a Torrid Incarnon video on my channel. I'm not going to claim it's going to be the best build out there, because there's obviously always there's always opinions involved, naturally. But I think it's a pretty decent video. I know Aztec Cross reacted to it on stream, and I was fanboying a little bit when I saw that. Not gonna lie. Big Mr. Cross reacted to my Torrid video. And I was already wondering why I was getting so many views in just one day. A month later, I found out. This is a beautiful Zaku. Again, you know, the before Zaku Prime, there was really only one good fashion, and that was this deluxe skin right here. Not gonna lie, this was the only good fashion for Zaku. Now that we have the Prime, there's actually a second option, but I still really do like this. It's cool. Again, it's a bit more of the bronze vibe, right? Ginger Viking, no, if you already sent builds, you don't need to resend it. The messages are still open. They don't get deleted when you go into a mission. It's all fine. Pain25, nice to see you streaming much often these days. What are your thoughts about Juggernauts in Ore Disruption at level? They really are to kill. Yeah, Juggernauts are, by the way, first of all, thank you for the nice feedback. I do enjoy streaming quite a bit. That's true. It's really good. Juggernauts are freaking tanky. I'm not gonna lie. Juggernauts are a pain. And they are meant to be a pain. But I personally do not, I do not do regular level cap. So I haven't made any personal experience with level cap Juggernauts just yet. But they're enough of a pain just at level 100. So, I haven't actually looked into how to kill them at level cap. I don't even know. I'm sorry, I don't even know. XD, what's the best hound according to me? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which hound you use, because the only thing that changes with the different hound configuration is how much shield and armor and health they have, and that really doesn't matter. What does matter are the precept mods that you put on the hound, and when it comes to that, I think that Synergized Prospectus and Reaper Audit are the two best ones. That's my opinion, though. The other ones are not bad either, but I think Reaper Audit and Synergized Prospectus are the best. And you can put that on any hound, doesn't matter. Tenebriz gives us a Saren Prime look. Let's take a look at Toxic Mama Saren right here. Ooh, black and white. Can I please zoom in? No, of course not. Unfortunately, the game does not let me zoom in. I don't know which part of that build I would zoom into, Not gonna lie. But this is the Cyandana for the Tenocon Digital Pack, right? Hey, Metal Twig, how's it going? Good to see you. I think, not gonna lie, I think the black and white, it works well on Minerva. But I also gotta be real, the lighting engine with that skin color tone of her makes her look really unhealthy in this scene right here. I don't know why, but just looking at her skin, she looks really unhealthy in this light, and I think that's purely because of the Warframe lighting engine in that scene. She kind of looks like a wax figure at Madame Tussauds wax cabinet in London or in Amsterdam or wherever that is. She looks really unhealthy. I can't help it. Is it just me, or does the lighting look really off, right? She looks really like a wax figure. But hey, that's nothing wrong with that fashion. The fashion is fine. You're not to blame for this. Tenebris, you're not to blame for this. It's just the lighting makes it look really awful. Yeah, Tenebris, those spores have really gotten her. Yeah. Couldn't say it better. Hey, Minerva, I think you should take a little break. I mean, I don't know how your relationship with Velimir was, but it must have been a very toxic relationship if you look like that. Take some time off. Take some me time. God, the Warframe lighting system sometimes is just really, really weird. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Sagan, love your stuff. I'm curious how big a deal amps really are. It depends on the content. Amps really, for the most part of the game, aren't really a big deal. If you go into Archon hunts, yes, you do want to have a good amp. If you play Void Cascade, yes, you do want to have a good amp. Other than those two activities, I think amps really don't matter all too much. I really think amps don't matter all too much. And I say this because I neither like to do Eidolons, nor do I play a lot of Void Cascade. And I don't even know what my current amp is. So I think I am confident in saying if you don't do Void Cascade, if you don't do Eidolons, you don't need to care about amps. That comes from personal experience. From personal experience of not having experience with those game modes. That would be my commentary on that. Siam, welcome, good day, welcome to Twitch. Well, welcome to you, Siam. Thank you so much. Welcome for joining the stream. Hope you have a good Wednesday. Oh, Honus, there are some Railjack missions where you need better amp as well. Oh yeah, is it the ones with those what are they called? The sentient pylons where you need to like change into operator or necromech. Is it? I think it's those, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, you're right. For that, it can be good as well to have that. Though if you have a decent build on your necromech, which I'm sure absolutely nobody has, justifiably, yeah, either have a good necromech build or have a good amp. So probably have a good amp. That's true. Let's take a look at the Wisp right here. Ooh, that's really cool. Is that the Dex skin? No, that's the Dex helmet with the Prime skin, right? That's the Prime skin with the Dex helmet. Really like the golden bling. Also the shoulder plates. Man, they integrate really well. Which shoulder plates are this? These, okay. Now, I think this is really gorgeous. I love this. Like a sandy golden vibe. Also, the Signa is a perfect fit right here. Yeah, that's one of the prettiest wisps that I've ever seen. Not gonna lie, I really dig that. I really do. You know what? I might just go so far to just try the freaking Dex helmet on my Wisp as well. I haven't really thought about that. I want to see that. Where is the... Do I have the... Don't tell me I don't have the Dex Wisp skin. Well, I don't have the Dex Wisp skin? I thought I had that. Is that event still going? Or is it over? Have I missed it? Do I have to wait a year? That would be cringe. I genuinely thought I have all the Dex items in the game. Darn. So much for that. You missed it. Too bad. Well, I guess we're gonna enjoy that beautiful Wisp skin on my account in a year from now. I think we're just gonna have to wait a year for me to be able to reproduce that. Thanks for ruining my Wednesday. Let's take a look at something better, like Inaros Prime. See, that makes me happy because I know that I have all that. Belly, yesterday you bought the normal comb from Darvo. See, my personal tip would be never buy stuff from Darvo because he makes some really stinky offers. Don't get me wrong, the normal comb is a good weapon, but I would not want to pay platinum for it. I think Darvo does genuinely not have good offers. I've actually never been to a Darvo deal where it wasn't sold out, so there are technically probably a lot of people who buy that, but I would strongly incentivize not to do that. Giga Khan, have I ever tried and scanned all the stuff for the codex? Not yet, but I should do that just for the simulacrum. Should definitely do that. Or for Dante. For Dante, it's important too. By the way, I do like the Inaros fashion. I think that the purple and the gold are a really good contrast. I also use a lot of purple-ish gold variations, but for me, I rather use this pinkish purple, but the more bluish purple that you have here works very well too. Also, I think it's a very good fit with the Signa right here. Revan, should they rework Darvo? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. They should. I do not have any suggestions as to how they should, but they should. Was a joke. Oh, I'm so happy, Belly. I'm so happy, Belly, that was a joke. I am so happy that you didn't actually blow platinum on the comb. I am happy. Whew. I just thought that I was the bearer of bad news here. Gaminom. Yeah, sure. Everybody can share their builds with me. You're more than welcome to. That's actually what we're doing right now. Like this one, the Coda Motivore. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten that myself yet. So I need to take a bit more of a look at the stats here. So what are we dealing with? This is my... Oh, can you also take a look at my... Oh, we want to take a look at Dante. Okay, sure. Sure, Dante. This is my Dante build and it's pretty strong, but I would like to know how to make it stronger. Let's take a look, Ace. Let's take a look at it. Let us take a look at it. So, I think Arcane Battery for the max energy is fine. I think right here, you would probably want to have literally anything else, because for Dante, the Overguard is what gives you tankiness, not the health, so you don't really need this. I would not go negative duration on Dante, because the buffs that he gives with the 2-3 and the 3-2 are actually really, really good, and 70% duration on Dante is actually a crime. Even if you don't primarily go for those buffs, you should still have them on because they weaken the enemy so much. So I would not go Fleeting Expertise. If you want to have efficiency, then just go Streamline alone. And I think with Equilibrium and Arcane Battery, you shouldn't have any energy problems anyway. So not that. Rather go for Prime Continuity instead here to bump up that duration. Precision Intensify is... If you use it as a nuke build, Precision Intensify is, I think, fine. But I still would rather use Umbral Intensify here because, in my opinion, it's better to have a little bit less ability strength, but therefore on everything, rather than 90% just on your 4. Yeah, I think if you use a companion with Synth Deconstruct, Equilibrium is really enough for your energy income, so you don't need this. Go Prime Continuity here. Umbrella Intensify here. And the last one is up to personal preference. That would be my personal... And go Mold Augmented here instead of Arcane Bellicose. I mean, Arcane Bellicose is cool because it doesn't need to be stacked up, but you're not going to have enough health to really benefit off of it, so Mold Augmented is the way. And if you use the Noctua, if you actually use the Noctua, go Arcane Impetus and put Secondary Encumber onto the Noctua.
Mouse locked.
Mouse locked, okay. Okay, then we lock the mouse. Man like Gibbon, as a Dante player, Arcane Impetus and Mold Augmented are his best. Yeah, like if you use the Noctua, if you actually do use that thing, then Arcane Impetus is like an absolute gift. It's an absolute
Mouse
gift.
unlocked.
It's true. Yeah, that will be my thoughts on the Dante Ace. I hope that helped. Before we take a look at Zero's build for Excalibur Umbra right here, my bottle is empty, and that means I need to get some of that sweet H2O, this sweet dihydrogen oxide. Need to restock on dihydrogen oxide, otherwise the engine is not going to continue running for longer. And I'm going to quickly change over to the, where is it? Be right back screen. You all know the deal. If you leave now, then I'm going to send Clem after you, and he will be chasing you through day and night in your dreams and everything. Oh, by the way, welcome Lego Master, welcome Ananasi. Good to see you too. So yeah, just going to quickly refill my bottle, 2 minutes. I'm going to be back, and then we're going to talk about more
Keyboard
builds.
locked.
Clem. Yeah, there we go. You saved up your Clems just for this occasion, haven't you? Anyway, see you in 2 minutes. Bye-bye.
Keyboard unlocked.
Clem.
Hey, YouTube and Twitch, what is going on? Somebody just returned from his water refill and bathroom break. Welcome back. I hope none of you left, because otherwise... 3, 2, 1 jump scare. Yeah, everybody who writes jump scare in the chat now has proven their loyalty and will therefore not be put on the hunting list for Clem. Congratulations, you may live another day. Yeah, next time.
Keyboard unlocked.
Next time I'm gonna edit that be right back screen and I'm gonna change it to please put your headphones on and max out the volume. That's what I'm doing. No, I'm sorry. If I genuinely scared you, I'm sorry. Next time I'm not gonna make it that loud. So, what did I miss? Tuned in right, Skeleton Bootlegger, right when I came back. Well, that's great. Welcome to you, Mr. Skeleton. Lego Master is scared. I'm sorry. I know. I did you wrong. So let's take a look at the mod configuration for the dual I-Core from Zero. Zero is Master Rank 10. Okay. So I'm not sure if we're talking about Incarnon. Is this the Incarnon version or not? Squirrel, no, Clay, please no, I was only a few seconds late. No, the council has decided, Squirrel. The council has made the decision. The legislation has been passed. Your name has been put on the list. There is no way to revert that. But welcome. I wish you a beautiful Wednesday. Enjoy it. It might be your last. Clem is on the way to you. He might be under your bed and in your walls already. No, but jokes aside, Squirrel, well, nice to see you. How's it going? We're taking a look at user builds again. And we found out that I missed the deck skin for Wisp, which is hella cringe because I thought I had that. So that was a big L for today. Ginger Viking had to get some water too. Well, that's good. Always hydrate. Never run out of dihydrogen oxide. Actually, I don't know about you, but when I was in middle school and we had the first time like chemistry class and stuff, you know, stuff that you have in middle school, the nerdy kids, you know, like me, we always used to make fun at other kids where we would be like telling stories and be like, yeah, and then I drank from that bottle and only then, after I had already swallowed the liquid, did they tell me that there was dihydrogen oxide in there. And then the class would be like, oh my God, did they put you to the hospital in time? And like, what happened? Because dihydrogen oxide, if you don't know, it sounds like a toxic chemical, but it's just water. And us nerdy kids who actually paid attention in chemistry class, we always made fun with the rest of the class who didn't pay attention, and then they would react like this, and we would just be like, bro, it's just water, you dumb or what? And I still find it hilarious. Honestly, I'm 30 years old, I still find this middle school humor hilarious. Lego Master, is it wrong that you were the quiet kid in school? The one who was picked on a lot? Lego Master, hey, yo, we're in the same boat here. You might not think so, because I talk a lot, but I was the nerdy kid that was picked on in school all the time as well. I think a lot of us can relate, and that there is nothing wrong with that. And if that happened, then that does not mean that your whole life will be in shambles and that you're always going to be the victim of other people making fun at you. Just genuine real talk here. That does not mean anything. In fact, the people, you know, the quote unquote cool people in high school who made fun at all the uncool nerdy people, right? Those are the ones who are like, when you see them nowadays, it oftentimes happens that they're just really not in a good position in life. You know, they're the ones who've aged a lot due to substance abuse and other things, whereas the quiet kids end up not being that bad off in life, oftentimes. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you're in that position right now, or if anyone were to be in that position right now, that does not mean that your life will always suck. It just means that people in high school are cruel and that everything can change afterwards. Chaos. We can make fun at you right now if you want to. Yeah, maybe. You can make fun at me for not having the Dex Wisp skin. Dihydrogen monoxide? Really? Is it dihydrogen monoxide in English? I always thought that... Yeah, never mind. The thing is, I quit chemistry class in 9th grade, so I'm really not that good at it. But I think in German... the whole mono part is not necessary. But hey, I quit chemistry class in 9th grade. I did physics and math. So I might be dumb on this. Damien, any predictions on what they'll announce on Saturday? They'll announce Yarley Prime, of course, because they already showed the teaser. There's no way this is not Yarley. They're going to announce the big new story step, which is going to take place with the big update. And I think this is going to be Deviri themed. I think it's going to be something with the Murmur enemies breaking the wall into Deviri or something. And I'm not yet sure what I think about it. But I will see. I will have to see. I'm going to be as surprised as everyone else. They're going to announce what's going to be the next Warframe. Probably with like a little teaser or concept art or something. And I think that's going to be it. Maybe there's going to be one or two surprises. But I think these are going to be the 3 big points. New Warframe, Yarley Prime, and the big next story beat. That's probably going to be it. Lego Master, your sister was always one of your bullies. Oh God. Always that is very sad. But I think that is also what happens with a lot of siblings, you know, that they pick on one another. And only once you get adult, you start actually being, you know, good. I remember my mom, like my aunt, my mom's sister, she used to be pretty awful to my mom when they were teenagers, and she's still apologizing for that, which is crazy. Waifu, how to get a goth girlfriend? I can't tell you because I don't have one, but for all the queens in chat, which might not be all that many because 99.7% of my audience is male according to YouTube, but if there is any lady in chat who wants to know how to win the heart of their favorite man over, I can give you some really deep insight into that. Ladies, if you want to know how to win the heart of any guy, you got to bring out the pencil and the paper now and take some notes because I'm going to drop knowledge. Get ready for this. Get ready for this. If you want to win a guy over, here's the best trick ever. This works, I swear to God, this works on every single guy. If you're on the first date with a guy, do not talk about the standard stuff, the standard boring stuff like what's your job, what's your favorite color, yada, 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 right? That's not good. Instead, ask him what his favorite dinosaur is. I swear to God, if you ask a guy what his favorite dinosaur is, he's probably gonna mentally propose to you that same evening. Because every guy knows that dinosaurs are the coolest shit ever, right? Some people might think that this is just something for kids and blah, blah. No. Gigantic killer lizards in all shapes and colors and forms, right? That is the coolest shit ever. And I think every guy appreciates a good dinosaur. And if you want to win a guy over, you better ask him about his favorite dinosaur. And then you're going to listen to the entire 1 hour monologue that happens afterwards. And that is how you win a guy over. I hope you all took notes. I hope you all took notes on MHBlacky's dating advice, because this is going to be locked behind a premium paywall going forward. Oh man. No, but genuinely, do we all agree that dinosaurs are freaking cool? I hope so. What, you still watching Peppa Pig? Hey yo, honestly, I'm not ashamed to say it. I did watch My Little Pony. I did watch the entire first 4 seasons. I watched My Little Pony season 1 till 4, till the end of season 4. That's when it started sucking. That's when I quit watching it. And I think that shit was fire. I'm gonna be real. I'm not afraid to say it. I think that was absolutely fire. And I think there's no shame as a grown adult to say it out loud that My Little Pony was pretty darn good. Dragons are better than dinosaurs. See, sea lighting. See, that's the thing. People thought that dragons existed because they found dinosaur skeletons, and I don't make this shit up. That's actually true. The whole dragon mysticism and the whole stories about dragon and stuff is because people way back in time, in the Bronze Age, in Middle Ages, whatever, whenever they found a dinosaur skeleton, because obviously they would find the occasional dinosaur skeleton, right? They would have no freaking idea what that is, and that's why they would think that this is a dragon, and that's why dragons look like big dinosaurs. Like that's actually the thing, right? They didn't just come up with that stuff. They found it in real life and just came up with the best possible explanation for how they perceived the world at the time. So dinosaurs and dragons are technically the same thing. Real nobody. What? Which shows? I 100% missed that. But yeah, that was. Dragons are cool. Yep. No, honestly, I like dragons. I like all that stuff. I'm a full-on nerd. Exactly. Ark was not that illogical. No. I think the combination of dinosaurs and sci-fi and dragons, I think there's a reason why it made so much money. There's genuinely a reason why Ark was so financially successful, and that is because it combined all the stuff that every young kid finds really freaking cool into one game. And I think that is still why it has so much of a big appeal. MHBlacky hitting us with the real truth. Isn't it like that? Isn't it like that? Oh, Bella, your internet is crashing. All right, be right back. No problem. Hope you're going to get it fixed up. So, let's actually take a look at the dual Ichor build. It's been open. I haven't even taken a look at it yet. So, dual Ichor build. So we have melee influence, which is objectively the best choice on any melee, unfortunately. I'm not going to blame you for that. Because, you know, it's meta. Melee damage, prime pressure point. If you have it, use Condition Overload. If you don't have it yet, that would be the next thing to farm for this build, because Condition Overload is going to get you more damage than pressure point, especially if you have that many different elements on it. I would replace melee prowess with Weeping Wounds. And I would replace Drifting Contact with a faction mod. And other than that, this build is A-okay and perfectly fine. I don't like the shapes with the engine. I have no idea what y'all talking about. Insation, I was wondering if we could try the second build for Gara that you made at the same time. I just tried and it's ridiculous. It's killing everything. Oh, you mean the with the glass the glass cloud around you that just kills everything by just running into it? Yeah, that's really hilarious. With enough ability strength and some good modding on your Exalted, you're actually going to stack that up really quickly. It's not like you're going to have to dedicate the first 10 minutes of the mission just to stack up the damage. It doesn't take that long. And I agree, it is really hilarious, specifically when you're at like round about 10 million damage, and then the Acolyte spawns in, and they spawn in on top of you, they're just poof, instantly gone. Like, they don't even have the chance to make a single move. The moment they touch your glass cloud, they're just instantly gone. It's hilarious. I agree. Mod configuration. Grim Reaper, mod configuration for Mesa Prime. Energy management problems. That's interesting. So let's talk about Mesa Prime then. Lego Master, your brother hates faction mods. You don't know why. Everybody hates, no, a lot of people hate faction mods because you have to exchange them whenever you go up against a new faction. And I agree that this is a certain inconvenience for sure. I'm not saying that this is just a completely invalid opinion. But what I'm genuinely wondering is, how do you play the game? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong for disliking faction mods, but if you play the game the way that I do, then usually you don't swap enemy factions all that often. Like, if you're just trying to complete a planet, then you're going to be fighting the same faction for an hour or two straight until you go to the next planet, and then you switch out the mod one time, and it's fine. And if you're farming a certain mission over and over again, then that's also always the same enemy faction. So I think in reality, it doesn't happen all too often that you go Corpus, Grineer, Infested, Grineer, Corpus, Orokin, Grineer, Corpus, Infested in that order. It just doesn't really naturally happen all that much, I think. But yeah, Sunny Boy, I do agree. You can always just use Roar, and that's universal. I also saw, I think it was an old video from Laser Gaming, where, I don't know which weapon build it was, but he did have a Riven where he had faction damage for Grineer, Corpus, and Infested, all three on the same Riven. And he was like, I love that Riven because I can just put it on the weapon and not have to worry about faction damage mods at all because it always applies. And I think such a Riven would be very convenient. In general, I think it would be cool if we had a faction damage mod. You know, the normal faction damage mods, they do 30% damage, and the primes do 55% damage. Can we have a faction damage mod that does 20% faction damage, but therefore to every faction? Like a Roar mod with diminishing returns, smaller value, but therefore the convenience of having it apply to every faction? I think that would be really cool. I think that would mean that everybody, also the ones who hate faction damage, can benefit a bit of double dipping. But it also would still mean that those who go through the inconvenience of using the actual dedicated faction mods would still have the better outcome. I think that would be a good middle way. Too overpowered, Lego Master? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it's still going to be weaker than a normal faction mod. It's just that little bit of added convenience of not having to swap it out. I really think that's not overpowered. But yeah, let's take a look at Mesa. So, there are energy issues. Well, I think the reason why you're having energy issues is that you do not have energy income, right? Grim Reaper, I hope you're still there, by the way. The reason why you're having issues with energy is because you have, a lot of efficiency with Streamline and Fleeting Expertise, and that's all nice and well, but you don't have energy income, right? You do not have Equilibrium on it. You do not have Arcane Energize on it. You do not have an aura that gives you energy. You have nothing that gives you energy. So even with as much efficiency as you want, unfortunately, if you don't get energy in, even if you just spend a little bit of energy, that's still going to be a problem. In my honest opinion, I would actually go so far to throw out Fleeting Expertise completely, by the way, on any Mesa build, because Fleeting Expertise does give you efficiency, but it takes away duration. And the problem with that is that Peacemaker, the skill that you're going to be using all the time, the energy per second, which is currently at 20.69, very nice by the way, the energy drain per second scales not only with efficiency, but also with duration. So what you're effectively doing with Fleeting Expertise is you reduce the cost per second with the added efficiency, and then you increase the cost per second again with the lower duration. Because if you were to take Fleeting Expertise out, then that skill would still probably cost 20.69 per second. That's the fun thing about it. A Fleeting Expertise does not do anything beneficial for your energy drain per second on the 4. Instead, I would just go with Streamline and then put Equilibrium in here. Equilibrium will give you so much more energy, and that's a-okay. I think if you put Equilibrium into here, it's going to be all good. It's going to solve all your issues. And then use a companion with Synth Deconstruct just to make sure that you're also getting a lot of health drops that Equilibrium can then turn into energy for you. Or like many others say in chat right now, sure, you can subzoom instead of Eclipse, you can subzoom Nourish, and Nourish from Grendel is also going to solve all energy issues. That's, by the way, also going to be the subzoom that I'm probably going to showcase in my upcoming Mesa build. But I also agree that Mirage's Eclipse, if you want to be really tanky, is an option too. Oh yeah, Zerg, you're right. By the way, welcome to the stream. You could also go for Archon Continuity. If you go for Nourish, that's probably going to be fine. If you're not going to go for Nourish, Archon Continuity alone is not going to give you enough energy, in my opinion. But yeah, if you go Secondary Encumber, you could go Archon Continuity. That is true. There's so many options. I just think double efficiency, especially Fleeting Expertise, never makes sense, in my opinion, on Mesa. I do not think this makes sense on any Warframe that has a channel ability. Exactly, Lego Mask. Oh yeah, Lego, you joined later. You weren't there when I was talking about it. I have already finished my updated build on Mesa, and I really like how it plays out with rank 5 Arcane Hotshot, of course. And I will just have to make the video of it. But I mean, just have to make the video. Of course, that's going to probably take some time, right? But if everything goes right and the stars align, I might be able to put it out by tomorrow evening. That's what I'm saying. It's about time I update that Mesa video because it's not up to date anymore. Brian, you're a new tenor. How can you increase your damage? Just finished the entire star chart, already done arbitrations. What can I do after that? I seem to have no damage in Steel Path. First of all, I'm going to reference you one of my videos instead of explaining that on stream. And that is not out of spite or anything. It's because I think that video explains everything just much better than I could spontaneously on stream. I have a video that's called How to 10x Your Damage in Warframe, which goes over all the steps that you can take step by step from the early game till the late game. And if you haven't already, then I would recommend you check that out because that literally goes over all major steps you can take. And if you've watched that already, then there's nothing that I could subjectively add right now because I think that video includes it all. So yeah, that would be my personal suggestion. Maybe if you have a couple minutes after the stream or so, try to check that out. I think it's going to help you. Lego Master, you need to tell your brother about the Mesa build. Sure, do that. 75% efficiency is very good on Nyx and Corvex. Yeah. I'm not saying that Fleeting Expertise is bad. I'm saying that Fleeting Expertise is bad on Warframes that have channeled abilities with a energy drain per second. That's what I'm saying. Thanks, Brian. No problem. What faction mods are good on the regulators, Technic? Or are faction mods good on the regulators? It depends. If you subsume Roar, then you don't need one, obviously. Because the regulators do not deal enough damage over time effects for double dipping to actually be a factor that you want to consider. So if you were to use faction damage on the regulators, it would purely be for the flat damage of it. And that means that probably a Roar subzoom would be better than using a faction damage mod. But I still think that if you don't subzoom Roar, but rather something like Nourish, I think that would be still a way to go. I think I did use a faction mod on my regulators, but on the other hand, I do think that not having a faction mod would hurt the regulators less than it would hurt other weapons. I think that's the best way I can describe it. New Gamer, that's, by the way, New Gamer, welcome to the stream, first of all. Second of all, name checks out. Haven't played Warframe or coming back to Warframe after 6 months. Any new things yet? New Gamer, first of all, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. I do have a video on YouTube. I think the title is Returning to Warframe ? Watch this ! Something like that. And the thumbnail is an Excalibur face palming and pointing at a table showing that somebody had been offline for a couple days. That is a very good video to answer probably all your questions, because that goes over the entire sort of timeline of Warframe, or the entire playthrough in order from start to finish of the Warframe story. And it's also having chapters, so you can watch the video and skip exactly to that chapter, which is the last thing that you remember doing, and then just watch the video from there to see everything that happened afterwards, and then you're going to be up to date. I did that before the release of Warframe 1999, so it should technically be pretty much up to date right now. I think that is going to be a tremendous help coming back after 6 months. Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of systems that have been added, also new story quests, everything. There is a lot. That's true. Doho, just wondering, what's the best, fastest way to open relics? What Voidfisher mission? It's going to be Capture. Capture is probably going to be the best one, because you can speedrun it like crazy. Have a vault to speed you up even faster. And then you just run through the level, get your 10 reactant, kill the capture target, go to extraction. I think that is the fastest way if you really wanted to speedrun it. But if you want to be having a little bit more of a convenient way to farm it, I would go for something that is a, how is it called? A infinite type of mission, where you don't have to end the mission and then start it again and then end it again and start it again. One of the missions where you can just stay in, like excavation, like defense. Probably a defense with a speed nova is the most convenient way to farm relics, because the enemies are actually coming to you. Though I think that if you time it very well, capture is still going to be a little bit faster. Vernal, why is Wisp the best Warframe? Because you're Moog's old account, apparently. Aren't you? No, just kidding. Wisp is a really good Warframe. Definitely top 10. Not going to deny that. Absolutely not going to deny that. So we're having a kit gun here. I don't even know what kit gun that is. That looks like the beam thingy. You're welcome, Doyo. Especially her bag. Vernal, we all know what we're talking about, aren't we? So what are we having here? We're having, I think it's the beam version, right? Yeah, fire rate 12 checks out. So I have a lot of crit chance, crit damage, that's good. Status is also high enough for that fire rate, heat, and viral. Okay, so first of all, of course, if you had the prime version of heated charge, I would suggest going for the primed heat charge. That is for sure. I think that merciless gunfight, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's personal preference. You can totally go for that. I would put secondary encumber into here. Absolutely secondary encumber, because you already have galvanized shot. That's going to synergize very nicely. For the kit gun arcane, I don't care. Use whatever you like. I would, though, not necessarily put viral onto the same kit gun as heat, because you ideally want to do the viral priming with a companion or an external source of viral priming. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's not convenient, and if you are looking for the most convenience, then this is A-okay. Just secondary encumber in here and you're going to be set for the rest of the game. But if you want to have the pure most damage possible out of this thing, put viral onto your companion, Panzervolk, Profiler, whatever, and instead go for an Elementalist mod and a faction damage mod, and that's going to be the optimal damage output for this weapon then. That would be my personal take on the kit gun. Oh yeah, Zerg, that is by the way, that is a good point. Never run relics solo. Absolutely. Always run them in at least a random squad, because you have a higher chance of getting a better reward out of it if you have to than if you just bring your own relic, because you can just choose something out of someone else's relic. And 4 people makes it more likely to get a golden or a silver reward than just you being your own. Surf Fate. In some videos, I saw you have some kind of fairy dust ephemera. Fairy dust ephemera. Usually I don't use ephemeras. Usually I do not use ephemeras on my Warframes because when I do the green screen for the Warframe for the thumbnail, the energy effects from the ephemera are usually a bit problematic to get rid of from the background, so I usually don't use ephemeras on my Warframe. Don't know exactly what you're referring to. Linda Wicker, Blacky streaming your recommendations. Well, that is jolly good, isn't it? Good that you made it here. I'm happy. Welcome. Hope you had a good Wednesday. So, friends, by the way, one thing that I need to say is I will have to end the stream in 20 minutes because I need to pick up my mom from the airport today. That's also why we started 1 hour earlier than usual today. So we have like 20 more minutes, and I think I want to do a little bit more of a rapid fire coverage of the builds, so we get to as many builds as possible in the last 20 minutes. And yeah, after that, we're going to see each other on Friday. Friday will be the next stream. And then on Saturday, we're going to have another stream before the dev stream. So there is definitely going to be more streams to come this week. And now we're going to go into some rapid fire analysis of mod configurations like this Nataruk right here. What do we have? We have a... we have, what is this? A magnetic corrosive build. Okay. Okay, a magnetic corrosive build. I would not necessarily go for magnetic, especially if you're going for flat damage like this one. This does not look like a damage over time build, so I would put more damage in here, more corrosive. I would put galvanized chamber instead of split chamber, and maybe if you don't have arcanes, maybe even heavy caliber, but that's just a big maybe. That will be my quick take on that one. Vesper 77. Magazine capacity. Yeah, exactly. Nataruk needs more magazine capacity. That is it. That's how we roll. So we have the Vesper. The Vesper is leaded gas, sure. That's a must since that came out. I wouldn't use Hollow Point. I think Hollow Point is overrated. It's just a little bit of additional crit damage. I don't think that's a good mod. I think you can use, where is it? Like a normal crit damage mod, Prime. What was it? I forgot the name. Is it Prime Target Cracker? Right, Prime Target Cracker would probably be the better crit damage mod here. And for the Vesper 77, I would go for the Acuity mod. You know, the one that takes away your multi-shot, but therefore gives you more weak spot damage. Because also with leaded gas, you're also going to be aiming for headshots. So I think you're going to really, really want to double down into headshots with this one. That's something that I'm, by the way, also going to do. I'm going to do an updated build on the AX52 and the Vesper 77 soon, where I include these types of mods. Is it worth buying Prime mods with Plat or just stick for waiting them to come out? It depends. I think it's fine if you just buy them when they come out from Borrow. I don't think Prime mods are that important that you need to buy them from Platinum right away. However, if you're tight on Endo and you don't have the Endo to rank up Platinum mods to level 10 all the time, then farming Platinum and buying Prime mods at max rank might actually be viable. That's, by the way, what I do. Let's take a look at Mommy Varuna right here. Again, I like the turquoise sort of vibe here. I also like the patriotic colors, black, red, and yellow. Very German. Definitely 11 out of 10. Great look. MC, that is a great look. The German guy approves. Equinox Prime. Okay, I'm going to be real. Equinox is one of the Warframes that I have the least idea of. I just haven't ever really played her. I wish you would have linked something else so I could have looked at that rather than the Equinox build, because genuinely I just do not know. I cannot give you an opinion on that because I do not know Equinox. I am very sorry. For everybody who submits stuff, even though that's what I said at the beginning of the stream, even though I'm only going to take a look at one build per person, you can send me multiple builds in case something like this happens where I have no idea. I'm just going to pick the next one. Just as info for the next time. I'm very sorry, Nixus. I'm very sorry, but I cannot help you with Equinox right now. I would have to dedicate some time into learning her myself. I'm sorry, Nixus. I'm really sorry. But yeah, for everybody for the next stream, feel free to link me multiple things. I'm just going to go top to bottom. And the first one that I actually have something to say about, I'm just going to talk about that then. For example, like the Harmony right here. Somebody flexing. I can feel it. I can feel it. There's going to be a flex coming. We have Electricity, additional combo count chance, status, duration, and negative puncture. Okay, negative puncture doesn't matter. Additional status duration means more damage, especially on the Harmony, which is very, very good. I think, though, the Riven could use some more rerolls because the additional combo count chance, you don't care about that. And also Electricity is, like, it's fine. But on Harmony, it's also not that needed. I would put some more rolls into this because I'm sure you can get something better. I would say it's probably a 5-6 out of 10 Riven, but it's good to have a Harmony Riven nonetheless. Other than that, you know, standard, absolutely standard heavy attack build. I like it. I would go for Conditioned Overload in this case, though. Conditioned Overload with a proper primer, that's fine. Other than that, everything fine. Lasting Sting, optimal solution, melee afflictions, perfect. Go Condition Overload here, reroll the Riven a couple more times, and that is the optimal build for your Harmony. Love it. Sevagoth Prime. Oh, Aeon Grey Fox, welcome. Wishes of red shards this week. Oh, Aeon, hey. Hey, Chad, I haven't, because I didn't feel well on Monday, I haven't streamed on Monday, I just played some Warframe off stream. And I did in my weeklies. I did all my shards, all my weeklies on Monday by myself, off stream. I am cursed. I'm freaking cursed. You want to know how many red ones I got? You want to know how many red shards I got on Monday? Let me tell you first. I did Deep Archimedia. I did Temporal Archimedia, both in the Elite variant, and I did Netracell, and I bought from Bird 3. The only thing I haven't done yet was Archon Hunt, but that's just a blue one this week. And I got 6 Archon shards in total, which is a very healthy amount, and 5 of them were Tau Forged, which is a whole freaking lot. Do you want to know which color they had? I'm going to tell you. I got 4 Tau Forged blues and 1 Tau Forged violet. The closest to a red shard I got was a Tau Forged violet, which is kind of sort of 50% the red one. Other than that, I did not get shit. It is cursed. It is cursed. Yeah, Tau Forge, yeah, Lynn, yeah. Tau Forge is great, and I'm really happy about that. I don't want to be ungrateful, but it is cursed. I need red. I don't need blue. I don't need yellow. I also don't need any of the combined colors right now. I need red, and I'm not getting that. For the love of God, I'm not getting that. Chicken soup, what's my favorite cheese? My favorite cheese is a mild brie, I would say. Not Brie Larson. That is also definitely not a mild cheese. That is a very salty cheese. But a mild brie, I would say. Yeah, I would, man like Gibbon, yeah, I would also like to trade shards. Not for platinum, just shard for shard. I think that would be fair. I think if you were able to trade shard for shard, that would mean that you can actually trade colors with people who need some other colors than you have. I think trading shards for platinum would be bad because that would effectively diminish the value that shards have. But if you were able to make it so that you can trade one shard for one other shard, so that nobody can just gift shards to someone else, I think that would be really good. I think that would be really good. Another thing that would be really great, that is something that actually came to my mind in the morning when I was taking a shower. If you have the normal version of a shard installed on your Warframe, and you don't want to replace it with something else, but you rather want to replace it with its Tau Forged variant. Like if I put a normal red one on a Warframe, and then I receive a Tau Forged red one, and I'm like, yeah, I would rather have the Tau Forged now. I think it is not great that you have to still pay bile resources to take the normal one out, to then take the Tau Forged one and put it in. I think it should be possible to upgrade a normal shard to its Tau Forged variant, if you have one, without having to pay anything for it. I think that should be fine. That would be great. That and then exchanging shards for other shards. These would be two great mechanics on how to improve the Archon shard system even more. So yeah, by the way, Photo, welcome to the stream, by the way. Good to see you. Yeah, let me just quickly get back to the Sevagoth build. I just can't do those rapid fire analyses. I don't know how others do it, brother. But the moment I read one chat message, I'm off to a 10-minute tangent again. That's just what you gotta expect from my streams. That's just what happens. Dark Propagation, Shadow Haze, so it's gonna be a nuke build. That's perfectly fine. I would maybe try to fit Augur Reach in there somewhere, just a little bit more range. I think a little bit more range wouldn't hurt. Maybe replace Prime Flow with Augur Reach and go for blue shards. But overall, it looks like a pretty darn good build. Not gonna lie, this is a really good build. Nothing to add here. Cleaver, nothing to add here. Grendel Prime. A pure Grendel survivability build. You don't have any shots on me yet, but I go for melee crit damage with Messeter Prime. Okay. Grendel build. Cappuccino, hey, left for a few minutes. I don't think I went through anything that you posted, Cappuccino, no. I would have remembered. Cleaver, nice. I'm happy that you liked it. Now, I think it's a good Sevagoth build. I don't really have anything to add there. So, we have a pure survivability build. Triple Umbral. I can see the survivability there. Then we have adaptation, of course. Rage for even more energy. That makes sense on Grendel especially. The thing is, Rage and Hunter Adrenaline would be such wicked cool mods on Anaros if Anaros had any skills that you actually wanted to use. Not gonna lie, man. Rage and Hunter Adrenaline are like tailor-made for Anaros, but you just don't have any abilities that you want to cast. So you don't need that energy. That's the hilarious part. Oh no, man. Oh, brother. You're going energy tanking? Holy cow. That's crazy. You're not only doing triple Umbral with health tanking, arcane blessing, and anything, you also go energy tanking. That's hilarious. I think if you wanna really keep it real and go all out Grendel tank, you should also put Mirage's Eclipse on. Just for that additional 75% damage reduction. You know, if you make a build like this that is purely going into tank, I would put Mirage's Eclipse on. Just for the memes. Yep, Lynn, exactly. Bro ain't dying. Ain't dying anytime soon. Grendel does not like the real estate market 6 feet under the ground. It's just not going to happen. He ain't going to move there. It's not his hood. Dude, I love this. This is a lovely Mimi Grendel build. I love it. Yep, that's great. I should build one of those myself. Frost Prime looks. Oh, let's see. I love how it always lags whenever I take a look at a proto frame. Is the embodiment of you're up against the wall and I'm the wall. Exactly, yes. Oh, man. Neon Red, I like eating Grenier. Grendel wants to nom nom some Grenier. It's true. It's true. It's a great build. I would have probably never built him that way, but I think it's hella fun to play. Damn, roasting Anaros. See, Lynn, I can do that. I can do that because I used to be an Anaros main myself. There was a time on my German old channel where I made a top 3 Warframes list. And I literally, and that was old Anaros before the rework, I literally went public and said Anaros is one of the 3 best Warframes in the game. Can you believe that? Can you believe that yours truly went live on his YouTube channel saying Anaros pre-rework is one of the 3 best Warframes in the game? Yeah, that happened. That video, by the way, is still up over on my German channel. It's pretty old, but it's still there. I haven't deleted it. So given the fact that I used to be the #1 Anaros simp in this entire fandom, I am allowed to roast him now. After I have woken up from my delusion, I am allowed, Lynn, to roast Anaros. Because I love the man. I really do. One of my favorite fashion frames in the entire game, and I still like to feature him in so many of my videos whenever I showcase weapons, because I know that he doesn't do anything for weapons. And for skills and abilities also. but yeah, I'm allowed to be harsh to him because it's just tough love. You know, it's a sort of symbiotic relationship. I love and hate him at the same time. Dude is out of control. Yes. You know, I think Velimir is very angry about what I say. What I say about Anaros is like, no, I want to kick that screen and shut up. Let me stop talking smack on my sand boy. Oh man, no, but like for real, I think by the way, that's a really good fashion. I like it. I like the look of it. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the Velimir fashion frame, not because of his head, because I think he's a really cool character. I just do not, I just find Frost has some very nice deluxe skins, and I do not like the default just body look. I'm not a big fan of it. That does not go against your fashion frame. Of course, that is a nice fashion frame. I'm not the biggest fan of the body part of the Gemini skin for Velimir. That's the thing. Belly, my walkthrough was so helpful for the Soma camera. Oh, Belly, you're also an OG from the German channel. I see. I'm happy that the walkthrough helped you. Yeah, that was a big project. Matthew, stupid question. There are no stupid questions. Archon mods, you receive them by first finishing the new war quest, and then you can do your weekly call mission in the Drifters camp. And from that call mission, you gain a certain resource, like a blue, I forgot the name of the resource, like a blue sort of thingy that you get from those missions. And then you can take that to Ticker. And is it Ticker? Like that other, no, it's not Ticker, it's Chipper, sorry, it's Chipper. Chipper, who is an NPC also in the Drifter camp, and with Chipper, you can exchange that blue resource from the call mission for Archon mods. That's how you get them. Yes, Aki, I found it. Yep, Aki, thank you, everybody who corrected me. I found it out. I got to it myself. I saw my wrongs, and I made them right. Is my build good? Let's take a look at the Mirage build and see if it's good. Yeah, exactly. Ticker is on Fortuna. Chipper is in the Drifter camp. Why do they have to name him so similarly? So, what do we have here? So, a lot of duration, a lot of strength, 200-ish% strength, with the mold augmented being full. Oh, I see. This is a Prism build. Okay, I see. I was wondering why you're going all out on duration, but with Prism Guard, I get it. I absolutely do. Yeah, I would probably, if you can, go for yellow Archon shards for the casting speed, so you can free up natural talent for something that gives you even more strength. But I don't think you necessarily need more strength. Just if you use yellow shards, you could go for more strength with maybe energy conversion, maybe Augur Secrets. not necessarily transient fortitude, because transient fortitude, you really want that duration. Umbral Intensify would be something that you could also put in here very, very well. Yeah, that would be the only thing that comes to mind that I would maybe change. The rest is A-okay. Really like it. It's strong. It's probably going to clear the entire room relatively easily. Xenos, yo, by the way, Mr. Xenos Fire, who just came in the chat, a fellow Warframe creator, and my reason to use my good old shout-out command again. Boom, it worked. I'm happy. By the way, if you don't know Xenos Fire, check him out. He's also streaming a lot of Warframe, very entertaining. I rated him the other day. Last week on our stream, we rated him. And I felt very sorry, Xeno. I felt very, very sorry that I was just wasted and that I just really didn't have the time to stick around and chat as much as I would have liked to. That's the problem with my streams. Every time I end them, I am like dead. I am fully sweated through. My throat hurts. I'm hungry and I usually need to pee. So when I raid somebody, I'm just like, I want to get out of my chair. It's not about your community. It's not about your stream. I would love to stick around and chat. I would just love to stick around, but I just feel miserable and I need to get out of my chair. That's how I feel after every single stream. And to every streamer who watches this, it is not that I don't want to stick around if I don't stick around long after raiding you. It's just because that's how that's how I feel after stream. But no, Zeno, thank you for asking. I'm doing A-okay. How are you doing? How's your Wednesday been? Have you been streaming already, or will you stream later today? Oh, never feel sorry about it. I do that when I'm done. I slug, I need food. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it like that? I have heard though, not necessarily from the Warframe community, but I've heard that some streamers really take offense with being raided by people that they're not already personally friends with, because they sort of think that it's a bad look or something, right? And I never really got that. I was always like, yeah, sure. Raiding is just a fun little thing. You do that, no matter if you know the person or not. You come in, you say, hey, how's it going? Wish you a beautiful stream, and the people can hang out if they enjoy it. But for some reason, I've heard multiple voices that people might take offense in that, and I was always like, oh man, if I raid someone who I don't know a lot yet, might they just think that I'm doing it with ulterior motives? Do they think that I have like an agenda or something? Am I overthinking this? I'm not that deep into Twitch culture just yet, so that was just something that that came to my mind. I kind of feel that sometimes certain areas of Twitch communities tend to be a little bit more of a walking on glass shards, where people get offended pretty easily. I feel that sometimes, but I'm happy that that you also that you're also in the same boat on that. Yeah, it's definitely. I've been chatting with Seminator a lot also about, insecurities as to what people might think or talk about you behind closed doors, that people sometimes take offense on about like really negligible tiny stuff, and then there's like drama and shit. I've never understood that. And I'm happy that you're also like chill on that. So I know that in the future, whenever I raid you, also if you were to ever raid me, we're both okay. We both mutually understand that we're both going to be miserable after our streams. And that's why we're not hanging out for 1 hour and chatting. It's good that we talked about that, man. It's good we talked about that. No, but like, how's your day been going? Have I missed that? Leo, haven't seen you. By the way, welcome to the stream. A lot of people are really easily offended. Yeah, that's true. I will never understand that. Genuinely, there's not a lot of things that I could think of that would make me genuinely mad. Like, I know. If you manage to trigger me, then you hit the jackpot, man. That's really it. and I enjoy people who can laugh at themselves and not take themselves too seriously. Sometimes it's a bit problematic because I tend to expect that other people also take themselves not too seriously because I don't take myself too seriously, and that might make some people angry. Yeah, but in general, I like to hang out with chill people. Day's been going awesome, just working away at stuff and getting my day go. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Zeno. That's cool. If you're gonna go live later, then I wish you a lot of fun with your stream and hope that everything goes well. Metal Twig, can you tell Xenos I say hi? Xenos, Metal Twig says hi. Metal Twig is in the YouTube chat, by the way. just so there's a little bit of context there. Just to chill with it. No, like it's you just gotta be able to laugh at yourself. Like, remember when I made that one video where I was referring to one video from Shiro Nature, and then Shiro Nature made a video as a response where he like made fun at me, but like in a really fun and playful way. That shit was hilarious. Like that one scene where he was just like having that movie scene where they're like printing money and he's like, MHBlacky when he takes one sentence out of my video to make a whole video himself. And I was like, hey, that's just hella funny, man. Yes, it's true. I took one statement out of your video, made a whole video myself based on it. And yeah, we be printing money. No, seriously, that was really funny. And you just gotta be able to laugh at that shit, right? You just gotta be able to take a good joke. Yeah, so that's that's really it. Tian, have I talked to you before? If not, then welcome to the stream, by the way. Bro, we're both sick. What, Lagashaggy, you're sick too? No, don't tell me you're sick too. That's bad, man. No, I'm actually feeling a lot better. I realized there was a typo in that community post where I said I wheel better. And I do wheel better today. Oh, by the way, Metal Twig. Zeno says in chat, screw you, Metal Twig, and then a big heart. In case you didn't see that. Oh, no, Lagashaggy COVID. Oh, I hope you get well soon, really. All the best to you. Just drink tea and relax, and I hope you're going to get better soon. COVID is a freaky ass bitch. That's for very damn sure. Yeah, get well soon. By the way, friends, it's already 6, and as I said, I need to pick up my mom from the airport, so I cannot stream that much longer. I need to make myself ready and get into the car. So for everybody who is around right now, the next stream will be on Friday, and then we're going to be streaming on Saturday too. And on YouTube, we're going to have a Mesa guide, hopefully by tomorrow evening. We are now going to go and see if we can raid anyone on Twitch. See who's online. Let's take a quick look at who might be online. Where is the Warframe category? Let me quickly switch the scene. There we go. Where's the Warframe category? Let's see who is currently... Oh! So Sam is currently live in Warframe. We could raid Sam. But... You know, we've rated Sam a lot. So I'm going to just try and see if we can rate somebody who's smaller. Just as a little surprise. How about that? Somebody I do not know yet. So let's just see. Let's just take... I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go with a Wild Kitsune. Never heard her name. We're just gonna go with her. Why not? Just have a little bit of fun. I'm sure that Sam is not gonna mind. So everybody who wants to contribute or wants to take part in that raid, come over to the Twitch chat real quick. We're gonna start a raid very soon, and yeah, we're gonna see each other hopefully tomorrow in the video, hopefully on Friday in the next stream. yeah, that's all really I have to say. Thank you everybody for being here. It was a fun stream. I wish I would have gotten to more of the builds, but I think that's just going to be a staple. That's just going to happen. We're going to pick up where we left off next time. And yeah, thank you all for being here. Big love. Welcome to all new followers. Thank you again to all the new subscribers and the generous donors, as always. And let me put in the raid command. Copy paste, and we see each other hopefully soon. Bye bye.